Marcus, are you ready?
Reverb Experiment episode number 31.
31. One.
Is that minus
one?
Baskin Robbins is 32 flavors, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
That Baskin Robbins is 31 flavors.
Okay, cool. So it's a Baskin Robbins episode.
It's a Baskin Robbins.
Gold medal ribbon on mine.
It's a sweet treat.
You feel me?
All right, y'all. So
We ain't sweet like that.
we are missing one of the four. Stefdotnet is not here today because she is enjoying a well-deserved vacation in Las Vegas.
Another one.
They are
She gone more than me.
they are enjoying the Usher show, so show them some love. But in her absence,
We brought the Steph.net replacement. Again.
She's irreplaceable.
Again.
we brought a fan favorite from Certified Lover Boys that is still one of the most listened to episodes to date.
Well.
We brought the man, the myth, the legend, Sean Dustin, a.k.a. Reflective Intelligence. Let's go ahead and give him a round of applause.
The guy.
Much appreciated, man. Hey, man.
Yeah, Dixie, I'm old, bro.
It's an honor. It's an honor and a blessing, man. I mean, obviously, Steph is irreplaceable. But to, share space with y'all on the Reverb Experiment with my brothers, it's a blessing.
He said Steph is irreplaceable, but if she must be replaced, I'll take her place.
That was a good politic answer, man. But it's all love.
Let it be.
We appreciate you coming on the show. So today, for those that are listening, we got a jam-packed show for you today.
Yeah.
We are going to talk about Richard Sherman and mental health. Since we got all fellas here on the pod today, I think it's an important
We're going to talk about our own mental health, men's mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Indian Red Boy who was killed on live. We're going to talk about Lamar Odom versus Tristian Thompson.
Talking about mental health.
Man. We're going to talk about Dipset versus the Locks. I am personally looking forward to this versus because the last couple of verses was kind of,
Yeah.
Hey, remember we talked about when they sold the platform, how it would pan out? It's exactly how we predicted.
It's been getting better. It's been cool.
It got worse.
Because I wasn't feeling I was feeling the Bobby Brown and Keith one. Well, that was okay. But the Soulja Boy and Bow Wow one, I had to turn that one off.
But whose fault was that?
As soon as I saw those names, I was like, "There's nothing here for me."
No, I mean I knew it was gonna be a big one. I just wanted to fight Soulja Boy afterwards.
Right.
There's probably a long line for that.
It's definitely a long line for that.
He invented fighting.
Most likely.
Yeah.
He was the first one to
he
do it.
was the first one to ever
on
fight.
YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah, first one to ever fight.
He was the first one to do everything.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the Dipset versus Locks prediction for the versus battle. Then we're also going to talk about a meme that actually deals with men's mental health. So this episode is going to be very much relying on men's mental health. So
Turn off the fan.
I think we're good.
We can hear it.
You guys want the remote? Is there a remote
Yeah,
for
the
that?
remote's right there. Yeah. Just grab it off the wall. It's fancy when you got a
You got a remote to the fan.
remote control. For
Yeah,
the fan.
y'all, because it's hot out here in these streets. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man.
What?
God, man, you guys are going to make me forget. Rest in peace to Biz Markie, man.
Oh, my God.
Hey, you know what's jacked up? I feel like we spoke it into existence, man.
No, he didn't. There was
How
a
you think
rumor
we
that he had passed.
Because they said that he passed like a week ago or 2 weeks
well,
ago.
no, yeah, we didn't speak it
No,
into
but
existence.
the
But I got
people
what you're
did.
saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy. He was like, nigga, I'm fine.
Yeah, I can't.
He was like, I'm fine.
like how you did him in black.
Yeah.
But no, like I can't say we manifested because a lot of people have been putting out like for years like fake details of people dying and shit, and they did.
Nah, nigga.
So
just because it doesn't work every time doesn't mean it didn't work this time.
Well, I mean, we are on a higher vibrational state these days, so the manifestation is a little bit stronger now. So
yeah,
The diabolical Biz Markie, man, is like legendary on so many levels. You know what I mean? Jay-Z brought him back for the girls, right? He was beatboxing, rapping. He was like unapologetically himself. He told great stories. His music was fun. It was a vibe. And he gave us long-lasting life lessons.
Because you got what I need.
How many times did it come up if a girl say, "Oh, that's my friend"? Like,
said,
what was the default thing?
You said
Snoop when he came in paying homage to the greats, did
LL
the Vapors,
too.
you know what I'm saying?
He had a friend line, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, he was
diabolical.
He was essential to the culture. Still is. I don't want to say he was because he still is. And just seeing him evolve, showing up, he was showing up in Men in Black. As a father, it was nice to see him showing up in kids shows. He was on Yo Gabba Gabba.
Sounds about right.
Yeah,
I think he was on Sesame Street too a couple
to
times.
his character, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely
When you
Sesame
can
Street.
reach the adults and you can reach the kids.
Multiple generations. Yeah. So we definitely want to give him just his flowers. We should have given him his flowers while he was here. I think we did. I don't want to say that we didn't, but you know, you always, when somebody passes away, you feel like that you could have probably appreciated them a little bit more. But on today, we just want to make sure that we shout him out. You know, love to him and his family, and just as a culture, that, you know, we do grieve when greats people die. Like I was watching LL Cool J. He had posted a video where he was kind of giving his thoughts, and he was damn near in tears. So, you know, to make LL Cool J cry, I mean, that must mean that you had to have a really big impact on their life and just hip hop in general. I also want to, I don't have all the information. For those that don't know, we are based in Sacramento. There was and it's all alleged. I don't have all the information, but I do know that people did die and people were hurt that last night, that there was a active shooter situation on Front and L Street down by Old Sac. So for the families that were affected, we want to give you our condolences. When we're talking about mental health, there's just a lot of things that come into that with the pandemic, with people not being able to work, with people not being able to see family, with COVID, with the Delta variant. There's just so many things that are going on that we are seeing. It feels like, to me, a heightened sense of violence and just a heightened sense of just people acting out. And, you know, for it to hit home, like you know, you see all these active shooter headlines and people dying and people getting shot. But then I think, you know, obviously when it happens in your own city, it's kind of like hits home, because anybody, if you've lived in Sacramento, or if you have driven through Sacramento or came to Sacramento just to kind of stay for a day or two, more than likely you've been to Old Sac.
Yeah.
That is a heavily populated area, especially at night, where people are going to eat,
they got
hanging
the bars,
out,
chilling,
partying,
and then
drinking.
it runs right into the heart of downtown K Street.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
for something like that to happen, you know, I think it kind of puts people on high alert. So
Yeah, I mean, it's really just like a microcosm of everything that's been intensified over the last, almost 2 years now, since, like you said, all of those, contributing factors, people losing their job, like all of that. And I'm a supervisor, and, we've seen the job market, kind of dry up. There's people that don't want to go back to work. There's people that, these employers are trying to give incentives and all of these things, because over the last, almost 2 years, people have had an opportunity to sit with themselves and reprioritize what's really important. Why did I, give so much emotional energy to this place that causes me stress? And then, being inside and being with different people and different personalities that, that you haven't had to share that space with for extended periods of time, people are finding out about the dynamics of those relationships. Divorces have went up, splits have went up, suicide has went up. And so mental health is really, has really came to the forefront because people are having to face it. There aren't as many distractions.
There's no escape from self when you have to deal with self.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's actually it's a two-edged sword, right? There, those of us who can sit with self and process, and like you said, and reprogram and restructure, rethink, and reprioritize life. We're capable of doing that. And then a lot of people are finding out really how lonely this shit is when you're sitting in the house by yourself for months at a time and years at a time, or they're finding out what their frustrations really are, and they're finding out the source, and they got to go back and deal with the core issues, whether it be childhood drama or relationship drama or whatever the case may be. For me, though, man, and I know that a lot of people probably are going to get on my ass about saying this, but I feel like there's never a reason to go out and take innocent lives, no matter how mentally unstable you are or whatever. That shit it's unforgivable. It's absolutely selfish. You know what I'm saying? It's an act of terrorism, right? And your mental, in a mental state where you feel like killing other people is supposed to make you feel better or supposed to be a solvent for whatever the fuck you're going through is absolutely unacceptable. It's absolutely selfish. So I'm one of those people like yourself, and like you, all of us at this table are extremely popular people, bro. Like we can move anything just because we put our name on it, right? But I purposely stay out of the streets because I don't know. Because I'm from the streets and I'm aware that there's people that could not see each other until this thing got back open. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I understand that there's new beefs, and I understand that a lot of people were real tough guy-ish because of we were all at home and we weren't allowed to be outside and whatnot. So for myself and for my family and my friends, even my baby mom, like I don't like that she travels right now. You understand what I'm saying? Because to me, you have to be cognizant of the time we're in right now. And to me, it's not a good time to be outside, bro. Like just like it was depression when we all got locked up, there has to be a release for said depression or said mood. And a lot of people are out there just trying to have a good time and enjoy life. But there's a lot of people with bad intent going outside.
And people's patience and their
Super
with
tight,
themselves
bro.
or
Tight.
and others has really diminished. Like
Tight.
you guys have seen how people drive since the pandemic.
Yes.
Right? You know
Bro,
what
I've
I'm
seen,
saying? Like,
listen, right here on this
people
intersection.
aggressive as shit.
Right here on this intersection, bro. Right out here in the Thomas, bro. I keep my kids 7 days at a time, right? So 7 on, 7 off. But just the last week they were here, bro, we saw 3 cars flipped over. Because it feels like everybody's such in a rush to kind of get to where they're going. I think they forgot that this shit is not just because we've been by ourselves. So it's almost hard to work with strangers again. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen an accident. I've been hearing a lot of motorcycle accidents. I've been hearing, we had the active shooter in San Jose a few weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? And I just,
people have it's really been a diminished level of like effective communication. Like people they're at an end of a rope. There's like tension already, and it doesn't take much for it to become combustible like quick. And I've just seen it. People getting into it in stores. How people are driving, and it's like what happens is when you're dealing with depression, when you're dealing with different emotions that you don't know how to quantify. What we inherently do without therapy, without other things, is we develop our own coping mechanisms.
Facts.
And most of the time they're unhealthy.
Facts.
And consequently, you have people with unhealthy coping mechanisms dealing with other people with unhealthy coping mechanisms. And then it almost becomes exponentially
and the
bad.
Boondocks was described that as a nigga moment.
Yep. There we go.
A nigga moment.
Huey would say, it's a nigga moment, bro.
Yeah.
It comes out of nowhere. But it is. You have to be aware of this, and I think that's the difference between those of us who are partial to reality and those of us who just want to go feel good, right? I'm not in a hurry to go travel. I'm not in a hurry to be out in somebody else's state on somebody else's soil. I'm not in a hurry to be out in the club. I would love to go do those things and hang out like I used to, but I do understand the temperature of what we're dealing at right now. So my job as the man in my house and the father of my kids is to protect my kids and make sure I make it home every day. Right. So I don't want to be out in these streets right now because I can't control what the next man's gonna do. Wow. Right? Imagine going out. I wanted to go out yesterday, but I ended up ordering in and watching movies, right? And then boom, there's a shooter, exactly where I was gonna go. I was gonna go downtown. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Yeah, no, like you said, man, it hits really close to home. Obviously, we see it in the amount of people that are committing suicide, overdosing.
Shit, you talk about relationships that broke up, bro. I didn't broke off 2 situations in this pandemic. You know what I'm saying? The last 2 years.
I think it's crazy, man. I can just to kind of piggyback.
Socially distancing.
I socially distance myself.
Socially distance your relationships. I gotta be.
I've been sanitized his whole life.
Sanitize his life.
Clean that shit up.
I'll tell you what, bro. I sanitized my life and got a 6-pack. You know what I'm saying? Let me get these abs right.
Yeah, but I think it's I don't know, man. Like it's kind of even trying to think of an example, but just the sense of okay, we're kind of getting back to normal, and then we get hit with another lockdown. Then we're getting back to normal, then another lockdown. Then now we're people vaccinated. Now there's a Delta variant. Then it's like, okay, now we're kind of getting back to normal. Now the LA says, okay, no, now you need to put the mask back on. Then now Sacramento. So it's like for me, it's like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, and then I think that really does mess with people's mental, and especially if you're watching the news, like it's doom and gloom all the time. That's why I don't watch the news. So like, what happened last night and what you were saying, Roz, as far as traveling, I am honestly, and I'll be open and transparent. Men have to be open and honest, and we got to be real about emotions. I am scared to travel.
You have to be.
And I'm scared because I was going to go to the same show that Steph went to.
Me too.
To the
we talked about it together. We
were going to go as a group. And I thought about it. I was like, well, for one, I don't know what's going to happen next year. I said, so I don't want to go. I said, and for two, I don't want to be in a big group of people.
Facts.
Because I don't know what may or may not happen.
Vegas is a perfect place for a terrorist attack.
Well, what happened
there
a few years ago?
That country.
Oh,
it was like 100
that's
people.
literally what I was thinking about.
It's a perfect place.
And so for me, it's like, can I easily get in and get out? Probably not.
Period.
And everybody's been to Vegas and knows how the strip is. Once it's popping on the strip,
never been to Vegas.
you're not moving.
You never been to Vegas?
Okay, so it is LA traffic on the
You're
strip.
not missing anything.
It's worse than that.
It's worse than It's worse than that.
And I heard it's hot.
If you're not on foot in Vegas, you're
My brother was just out there to
moving.
see Rogan and Chappelle
yeah.
and friends or whatever. But I think again, mental health is a unifying topic of a lot of today's themes, and you hit it on the head that it's okay to say, you know what, I feel fearful to travel right now. To your point,
That's the same thing I said.
to your point, it's like I don't know what other people are doing.
But you can't
There's
control
people
that.
that are vaxxed, there's people that are not vaxxed. Like you said, there's a
you can't
Delta
control
variant.
it. You can't control
And
it.
Politics don't move at the speed of public safety, and
Facts.
so
That's a big bar.
So capitalism,
bar.
at the speed of capitalism, and when they're ready to open and start getting their bread again, doesn't mean that people are safe. When you see the incentivizing that's being done to take the vaccine because they're not hitting their anticipated numbers when they're like, we've stoked enough fear and enough. I don't want to just say fear because it's real.
It's
you know what I'm
fun.
saying? But no, because it's real. People are dying. I definitely don't want to marginalize something that's a pandemic. That's
Right.
I mean, that's real.
Right.
But there's like, to your point, it's a lot of doom and gloom on TV, and the numbers and the deaths that they're showing and all of these things. There's already a public fear. So then when you say, man, it's okay. We had to wrap our minds around the fact that, okay, this wasn't real. Maybe it is real. You shouldn't wear a mask. Okay, maybe you should. And then you say it's good, and now you've created some public trust.
Yeah.
But now you guys are just really about trying to get your paper open.
Well,
things
you
back
get
up.
the proof is in the pudding by the inflation, right? The proof is in the pudding by the inflation. You know what I'm saying? I do understand the importance of having a economy that is functioning, and I do understand that, and I do understand that nothing's free. I do understand all these stimulus checks. The government has to inflate now so that they can make up the money back in taxes, right? It's a part of being a capitalistic society, like you said.
Well, they're bailing out all these companies.
Yeah,
Well, and I think what Sean just said is spot on. That capitalism doesn't wait for public health.
It doesn't.
And
It doesn't.
To back up his point, there was a report from 2018 that I posted on my page, where Goldman Sachs, it was a biotech company's report that I think Goldman Sachs was either investing in or they were handling the funds for. And in the report, verbatim from them, Goldman Sachs is a huge bank.
Yep.
That they're one of the institutions that make the economy go. One of the quotes in the report is healing people a sustainable business model.
It's not.
No.
It's not.
It's not.
No.
And to your point, look at how much it costs for organic food versus a double cheeseburger.
No, right, but I'm
You know
saying,
what I'm saying?
but to his point is as a biotech company, your function is to create
dysfunction so you can heal it.
No.
I mean,
yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
In this world,
But
in a perfect world, a perfect world is
to heal.
Your whole existence is to make public health better, to give us remedies to heal.
Well, why?
And the people that are investing in you are asking,
Please.
is that a sustainable business model? Your business model should be to heal, but again, capitalism and public health are never on the same.
Because you would think as a biotech company, your job would be to heal and then work on the next disease.
Right, we're talking about mental health today, right?
Well, but if you cure a disease,
Then you go out of business.
then you go out of
Right.
business.
So we're talking
You
about
got
mental health
investors.
today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you go in let's just, standard cookie cutter procedure. You're dealing with HMOs and all of that stuff.
Mhm.
You go into your primary health care provider and you say, I'm depressed.
Mhm.
I'm going through it. They're going to give you medicine to take
They're
daily.
going to prescribe something.
And
to
then
you.
how often
Yep.
are you going to see a therapist?
And not only
You know what I'm
that,
saying?
Weekly.
So
the side
I'm
effects.
talking about things that give you tools and resources
Mhm.
to address and mitigate anxiety, depression, triggers. Like I'm giving, during therapy, I can give you real information to say, here's some breathing patterns. At the onset of this feeling, here's things physiologically
Mhm.
that are happening in your body. Here's how you can
See,
de-escalate
we
some
run
of
to
those
the
things.
wrong. We run to the
But
wrong
like
people.
medicine daily.
That's because we're
But
running
therapy
to.
once a month.
That's because we are
Yeah.
traditionally trained to whatever we're going through to go see a doctor. But if you need to go see a mental physician when you're having mental problems,
Right.
right? And you need to go see a therapist and a psychologist. But what we are told to depend on is the Western world medical system, where if you have a stomach ache, there's a pill for that. If
Right.
you have a headache, there's a pill for that. If you break an ankle, they'll put a cast on it. They'll give you some Motrin or some ibuprofen, right?
Right.
And then you might get a higher dosage of prescription. If you're jacked up enough, they'll give you Vicodin. You
Right.
know what I mean? So we are taught to run to the same facility for mental health treatment as we are for bodily treatment, right?
Mhm.
And so there's no distinction because we weren't taught to distinguish if I'm having a mental episode versus a physical episode, right? I just know something's wrong, and I know that there's a doctor here who could tell me if I'm imbalanced and this, that.
And
so
and while they're putting a Band-Aid and addressing the symptom
They're
instead of the
making money.
root,
They're
because
making money.
the mind has so many physiological ramifications: high blood
like
pressure,
you said, the
Mhm.
side
Ulcers.
effects, like you said, the side effects.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ulcers,
Mhm.
strokes,
Mhm.
hypertension,
Mhm.
heart attack,
Mhm.
headaches.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Skin disorders.
The diarrhea
You know what I'm
is
saying?
one of their
Vitiligo,
favorite
like,
ones, right? Diarrhea,
diarrhea.
right? Constipation.
You know what I'm
is
saying?
right,
The
yeah.
digestive
Yeah,
tract,
exactly.
sleep deprivation.
You can't sleep.
The
Insomnia,
mind
right.
manifests itself physiologically, and then they'll be like, "Oh, you're having
Oh,
trouble
you know what?
sleeping?
We got a pill
Sleeping
for
pills."
that.
Like,
We got a pill for
bruh,
that
I'm having
too.
trouble sleeping because my anxiety because of depression, not because I just have trouble sleeping at night.
Bro,
and they just address the symptoms.
something's really
You
wrong
said
with me
Band-Aid.
here. You know what I'm saying?
And by the
Something's
way,
really-
this is
It's a
gonna
Band-Aid,
this is
yeah.
gonna give this side effect, so you need to take this
Take
to
this
offset
too.
that.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And those are also
Yeah.
going to be the side effects.
Yeah.
You
So
know what?
now you got the Monday
you know
through
what-
Friday.
You know
Right.
what? You know
Yeah.
what's the
Next thing you got a whole
craziest shit is
cabinet.
when they always say one of the side effects is heightened suicidal thoughts. Bro, like, are you serious?
Like
This may make it worse,
right. Like what you mean? I'm gonna take antidepressant. They're gonna make me more depressant.
right?
Like
Right.
I'm so antidepressed that I don't feel like doing this no more.
Right.
Like, what?
Well, because you're telling about I'm trying to balance serotonin, and that's why they call it a practice. They don't
Mhm.
call it a perfected.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
they don't call it. They don't have mastery. It's a practice, and so let's throw different things at you, and then see how this psychotropic drug affects you. It may make you worse. It may make you want to kill your. Like I'm already at a place where I told you, I was. I
you're
feel like
gambling.
taking my life, and now you're going to give me something that
Well,
may
you-
exacerbate that.
Well, because maybe it works and maybe it doesn't.
Well,
but-
what you're really doing is you're juggling, is you're managing, is you're trying to manage, but then if you manage one thing, it makes the other thing go up. And this kind of reminds me of a conversation that Stokely Carmichael, aka Kwame Ture, had in there was like a big black forum in the 1970s where they were talking about the ills of capitalism. I think I talked about this before, and the example that he used was cars, and he said, you know, that we claim that we're the most technologically advanced society in the world, which the USA should be because we make the most money, but at the same time we're behind in our advancements.
Everything.
So for instance, we have the capability of making a car that can probably last forever.
But why? Why
We-
do that?
We have the technology, we have the
Mhm.
materials, we have the engineers, we have the smart people, but it is not, you are not incentivized to make a really good car, because if you make a really good car, then less people are going to buy it. As year on year
Right,
out,
because
right?
the
if I
old
have a
car's
car
still working.
because if I have a car
Yeah.
that lasts 15, 20 years,
Yeah.
then that means I'm not buying a car in
Yeah.
between time. So it will behoove a car company to put in some good technology, some good advancements, but not make it so good that I am going to keep it for 20 years. Maybe it'll last for maybe 10. So then at 10 years, then I buy another car. So that adds to your profit. So again, capitalism will again give you the incentive to, yes, make some advancements, but not too much, because I want to make sure that you're going to come back as a repeating customer.
My partner
look at the
graduated.
iPhone. Look at the
charges.
iPhone.
Yeah,
Right.
my partner graduated with as a mathematician, and he went into actuary work. You know what I'm saying? Statistics and stuff. Working for insurance companies and car companies, to where they literally come out with all the statistics, what the life of it is, all of these things, and then build the warranties around it falling outside of that, and all of, like, it's literally a science how they build the shelf life of a product around that consumerism.
Right.
Yeah. It's deep, man. Capitalism it's so
rooted into everything.
Yeah, they'll sell you a 5-year warranty knowing that the average is that it'll be out, that it'll go out in 6 or 7.
Correct.
Because
Well, look at the
And so we're gonna get our
Look at the manufacturer warranty when you buy a car. Go back to the cars. You get 60,000 miles or 5 to 6 years, right?
Right.
And after that, it's on you.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we need this product to fail,
Right.
because we have to stay in business.
Right.
So what we'll do is we'll charge you so high for the maintenance when you're outside of the warranty that it'll make you get rid of this car and we'll
And
get
get a new
you
one.
a new one.
Yeah, and
That's how it works,
And
yeah.
just look how that affects, and then it kind of comes back full circle when we're talking about society. How does that bode well for us as a society? Does it create an environment where we all work together for the betterment of everybody,
No.
or does it create an environment where I'm on my own? I'm gonna make sure that I look out for me, and I don't care whatever you got going on. I'm gonna do what's best for me, even if that means it's to the detriment of my guy to the left of me or my guy to the right of me. As long as I'm doing okay, I'm good. Whether I'm putting out a good product or not, as long as my profits is where they need to be, I'm fine, because it's a free market. And if you want to buy something that has a better product, then that's fine. But the other person is going to be thinking the same exact thing, where I want to pad my profits. I'm going to make something cheap, sell it high. I don't care how good of a product it is. And if I get enough people to purchase it, then I'm good. And then I can move on to the next thing. So, that's where we're at. And you guys see it. You guys were talking about the drive-in. It's out for self. I don't care about what else is going on around me, as long as I get to where I need to get to.
There's no sense of community.
And if I hit somebody on the way, oh well.
Right.
And I'm going to keep driving, and I don't care if you know.
And I hope they say something, because then I can justify doing road rage.
Then I'll be angry, and then I'll pull out a gun, and then I'll end up being an altercation. So that's just where we're at as a society, and that brings
your ass in the house.
That brings us to Richard Sherman.
I can't deal with. I don't want to deal with
people.
It's not that I love people, but I do. I just understand where we are right now. I understand.
You love your people. You love the people that you know.
We love people, but I'm saying is I don't like dealing with the nature of people.
The nature, right? But it because you understand the climate where we are right now. A lot of people live in this fairy tale world where it's open, boom, good times again, and that's just not reality.
But I think people are naturally, to me, and this is just my take. People are naturally, like, if you want to talk about a bend, like what people would naturally gravitate to, people are naturally selfish.
Exactly. I always tell people this.
Well, but we're trained to be, though.
No,
We're
I
trained
think it's
to
a
be and
natural
not to be.
survival instinct.
No, if you think about everything that you're taught in school growing up, and just growing up with a mom as a minister, it's like such a direct contradiction to the doctrine that I grew up in, right? About having compassion and care for people and love for people and genuine interest in the well-being of mankind and your brothers and sisters and all kids of God and all of that. But in society, from the time you're in school, it's mind your business. You're accountable for you. You can do anything you want. This is where I'm growing up. Like, no, you can do all things through Christ, or you can do all things like. But we're in a very individualistic society that you're this, you can do this, you can be accountable for this. Don't worry about other people's stuff. Worry about your own. Take care of yourself. And in our communities, on top of that, because of the history of enslavement and the fallout of people just having to look out for each other, and then you saw it whether it's W.E. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington, or even amongst black leaders, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and these
Pac and
philosophical
Biggie. Come on,
differences,
bro.
Marcus Garvey, and
you can go anywhere with
right.
that. Jay and Nas, you can take it there.
Right. Within now, when it's limited resources and it's competition for them in these black and brown neighborhoods, you see how that manifests itself.
The ultimate thing is, like we said, everyone is out for self. However we got here, that's just the reality of it. Because,
I think that's a good question.
Because the road, like you said, the road that is traveled is painted the narrative for us, and so we're literally living our past experiences passed on to us.
Right.
You know what I mean? I tell people all the time, I'm definitely going to do what's best for me first, because if I'm not in a good position, I can't help anyone else. And that's something I learned from my dad. My dad kept telling me growing up, he said, it's easy to give, but make sure that you are in position that when you give, you can continue to give without your life suffering. So sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Sometimes you got to know when to not give away your blessings so you can be a blessing down the road.
But listen to what you said, though.
I think that's different.
You're beginning with the ending in mind, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So your vision is, I want to be able to pour into other people.
Right.
I just know that
but
I can't pour into other people at the level that I desire to.
Right.
If I have not invested in
which
myself.
would be the reason we created the podcast, right? Because we have the means and the understanding.
Right. You can't give to your own detriment because then you're not able to give anymore.
Exactly.
Right.
So go ahead.
One thing I like to tell people is it is okay to be selfish in certain situations, because you got to realize that you are the common denominator in your life.
Facts.
Right. You are never going anywhere in your life. You are the only person that
you everywhere.
Right. You got to take you everywhere. You can't leave your life.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, like, when you're around, it's always you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, of course, like, handle everybody else the way that you handle your loved ones, but make sure that you yourself are handled.
Mm-hmm.
And I think selfish has like a negative connotation.
It does.
Right?
There's levels of selfishness.
Right. Where I kind of look at it like self-love is always a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Self-care is always a good thing. I don't think that that's, by definition, selfish, where I'm not looking out for other people. It's that I understand that I interact with other people.
Mm-hmm.
I understand when I don't care for myself, the way it impacts the dynamics of I am with other people, how I am with my wife, how I am with my children, how I am with my parents, how I am with my coworkers, how I am with my staff, subordinates and superiors, peripherally.
Right.
I have to have enough responsibility and self-awareness to say, I'm in a position where I have to pour into myself, because those of us that are responsible and are always looking out for pouring in other people, who's behind you charging your battery?
Right.
Us.
That's the
us.
cup.
Where they at?
That's us.
That's the cup. That's the cup and the saucer analogy. Whatever you want to say.
Well,
where you have to make sure that your cup is full.
Yep.
And when your cup is full, then you give from the overflow.
Yep.
That whatever's in the saucer, you give of that. Because if you have an empty cup, you have nothing to give.
You have nothing.
And if you have a half cup full, then you're giving half of yourself. So you have to be full first, and then overflow, then you give that. So I want to ask this question before we get on to the Richard Sherman. I know this has actually been a really good conversation, because you brought up something that made my kind of ears perk up a little bit, and we were kind of talking about it before. Is, do we think that mindset, that I'm thinking of the end goal in mind, and I'm thinking of how what I do affects everybody, do we think that is a default way of thinking, or do we think that is something that is taught? Because I think that's kind of what I was saying before. I think, from my standpoint, you are naturally selfish. Naturally, when you come out of the womb, if nobody would have touched you, nobody would have teach you anything, you are going to, maybe not even 9 times out of 10, maybe 7 times out of 10, you're going to lean towards
10 out of 10.
I wouldn't say 10, because there are some people who are just naturally empathetic.
Because most babies come out mine.
Well, a lot of people are empathetic because of the way they were raised. So it's not necessarily just because like that's like a like innate,
Yeah, I think some people are naturally empathetic.
I think it's multifactorial. Like some people are more naturally passive, but empathy can be a skill that's taught. You know what I mean? Like, I think innately our instincts are to survive, and so without any just default, it's like what makes me feel okay, what stays away from feelings that are not okay, and what happens is you have to be taught about vision, about some of this, the pain and the things that you go through are beneficial to you long term. That hey, it's like when you go on an airplane, right? They're like, hey, there's gonna be turbulence, there's gonna be this. Now, if this happens, there's this for safety, there's this for this, but it doesn't say that it's gonna be a smooth ride. That doesn't guarantee that. Right. However, when these things occur, you have homies to your left. Over here, you have spirituality. Over here, you have meditation. Over here, you have positive coping mechanisms. Over here, you have affirmations. Now, if you did this, that's not taught.
Because the nature, all of our primal instinct is survival. That's what you're built with. If you look at any other species, their primal nature is survival. You know, right? And we're built in the same spherical realm of all those other things, right? So if you're not taught those things, you're absolutely right. Our primary nature is selfish. It's self-sustaining, self-maintaining, and it's self-gratifying. And I think that's what makes us the most selfish. It's the gratification that you seek on a personal level, right? Like you said, to your point, there's things that you don't want to experience, right? Even though it may be good for you, you don't like how it feels. So maybe I'll take it this way because I don't have to go through
those. It may be tight, but it's right.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to, even though this is good for me right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be buff, but I don't want to go to the gym because I don't want my muscles to hurt the next day. You know what I'm saying? Some things you just
I don't want to sacrifice my time.
Some things you just don't get without going through the pain of it. But your natural your natural self, though, you would remove yourself from situations where you had to be stronger. You could just live. Because that's really what we want. We all want the ease of things. I don't want to work to make more millions.
Avoid the
right?
resistance.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Right? Why do you want to work
and when you talk about like the bag, right? Like as far as at least putting yourself in the game. And this is when I talk to people about mental health is like, it doesn't mean that these feelings aren't going to happen. It does, but like, what are you doing to put yourself in the game? And I think eventually to your point about vision is that I'll tell my kids it's like you want to get to a point where you're exercising in forethought instead of hindsight.
Bingo.
You want to get to a point where you're like, I can reasonably anticipate these things may occur. These snares and these things are going to happen.
You know what you're talking about?
But I have a deliberate, determined effort and I have a plan. I see where I want to be and what steps am I taking purposeful to attain.
Spiritually, we would call that revelation. Naturally, we would call that experience and knowledge. There's some things that you just can't get, right? You can't have foresight about some things. One of the largest things that I had with one of the people that I dated, right, was the not understanding foresight, right? Because of lack of experience. Where I'm at and the things that I've accomplished, the way I'm thinking and processing it didn't transpose into what they could understand because they'd never been there. So the conflict was, this is how I feel versus this is what I know.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So to your point, to get to those places, again, you have to go through the trials. You got to make the mistakes. You got to be burnt. You got to get hurt. Right. And then what happens is when you get those lessons, right, then you start to be able to adjust to them beforehand, right? See, when you go to fifth grade, they don't care if you understood reading from first, second, and third grade. You're here for fifth grade work, right? So we're not going to go back and teach you first grade work. You were supposed to get that in first grade. If you don't understand it at this level, then what they do is they put you back, right? Or they get you help, or they get you summer school, or they get you counseling, right? See, if they do that in the educational system, we're supposed to apply that same logic and know-how to our everyday life so that we can teach each other how to do those things. Because life doesn't go backwards to help you understand.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I think with that analogy though, I think we also, which obviously I'm not saying that you're comparing school to life because obviously they don't compare, but in the lesson of it is we also have to understand that like school, everybody, obviously they're assuming that it's a level playing field,
exactly.
which we all know it's not.
It's not.
Life obviously isn't either. And I think when we're talking about being selfish, I think when we think about selfishness, we always think of gimme, mine. When selfishness can also show up as like when you're saying that you were having miscommunications or you were able to see the full picture, but the other person wasn't, is that there's some people who will live in life and this goes into the bigger conversation of how we interact with everybody, where you, because of what you've gone through or because of what you think you know,
facts.
No matter what happens or no matter what's said, no matter how you hear it, no matter what you go through, you already have the conclusion on how things are going to be before you even go through it.
Facts.
Like, I know this person
problem.
is going to do me dirty. No matter what other information you have, before you even got into the situation, you already have that in your mind that that's how it's going to play out. So what you do is you bend all the information to fit into that category because it validates how you feel. And that to me, that innately is selfish because I don't want to go outside of my box to figure out exactly how what I'm doing, how it affects other people. I'm only thinking about what I see and how it affects me, and I'm going to make sure that it fits my narrative. And I'm not saying that people think like that.
No, they do.
But no. What I'm saying is they don't sit here and say, "Oh, I'm going to make sure that all this stuff fits my narrative." What I'm saying subconsciously,
they do it.
It's the filter they see it through is this person is going to hurt me, and I'm going to fit all the pieces to make sure that it fits that, because then that's what makes me feel comfortable. Even though it's a sabotage, it makes me feel comfortable.
Right.
And that same mentality plays out in a larger scale in our society, where whether it's a white right-wing racist, no matter what I see, no matter what evidence that you show me, black people are lazy. Black people are on welfare. You guys don't want better. You guys are just trying to take what I have built up over the years. And because I'm conservative, I don't want you living off of my taxes. So no matter what I see, no matter if I see the police brutality, no matter if I see this, no matter if I see that, what I see fits what I want it to be. And this is what I want it to be, is that our founding fathers built this country and you're just here for rent. And I'm going to protect whatever I got. And that plays out to me in a larger scale where people already have these foregone conclusions, where no matter what you tell them, it is what is what it is. And I think
does that contribute to just selfishness, or is that is that something that we can categorize as a mental disability because of trauma from previous experiences?
I think it's all encompassing.
All tied
it's
in
all
the same?
encompassing because it makes you feel comfortable. It's a pacifier.
It is.
This is what I'm used to. This is what I was raised with. This is what I know. Or what I think I know.
Facts.
And if you challenge what I think I know, it makes me feel uncomfortable and I don't want to deal with it, so I'm going to stay in my lane.
Some people are absolutely comfortable in conflict, though, like we talked about earlier.
But again, that's pacifying how you feel.
That's true. That's true.
But I think like what happens is that what people aren't cognizant of or realize is that in these selfish times, in these times that they feel that they're doing something to benefit themselves as an individual, they're discounting the fact that you don't live in a silo, and what happens is
that's exactly what we talked about.
Spiritual, because of what you're feeding your spirit. These dynamics, when you have to deal with other people, exist whether you think
want
about them up front or not.
Yeah.
And so the way it ends up manifesting itself in their children, their children's children, generational curses.
Bro. We just talked about
these other downstream effects that are unintended because they can't see past their own nose, right? And a lot of times it ends up backfiring because they didn't have vision. They didn't cover their bases. Really, they were thinking out of fear, out of pessimism, out of negative constructs. And what happens is, long term, it blows up in their face.
You ever had
unintended consequences,
or somebody else's face that they are close to.
You ever had a situation where somebody had to be right all the time, even when you were like, "Yo, I get it, I understand," but they gotta go, right? Some people operate in that, like you said, the ultimate end in a lifestyle of conflict is nothing. It always ends up in nothing because you lose relationships based on how you feel, because you feel like you weren't heard, or you feel like they didn't understand, or you feel like because you, like you said, you get into that place in that silo, right? And that monologue that should be kept internally becomes a dialogue with people that you don't intend to frustrate or you don't intend to upset.
Out of the abundance of the heart does the mouth speak.
Come on, I'm telling you, bro, that's worse. See, he gonna keep bringing out scripture, nigga. We gonna have Bible study on this podcast.
Because what you have in your heart becomes part of your thoughts.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, and then it manifests. Once they manifest themselves into words, your words become actions, your actions become habits.
Hey man, it says manifest. The spirit, the manifestation, which most people get backwards, is not from natural to spiritual. The manifestation is from heavenly realm, spiritual places, and then the natural. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So most people don't understand, like you said, what you feed yourself, what you focus on, and what you're believing in is most definitely going to manifest itself in your day.
And if you already
in one way or another,
and if in your mind, see, because whatever higher power you believe in, right? You're given like this like emotional and GPS, right? Fight or flight mode, all of these things, these innate systems of survival stuff we were talking about. So when people are walking around with this certain energy, I don't care if you read the book The Secret or whatever the case may be, whatever.
It's a Bible knockoff.
It is. So, but I don't want to alienate anybody.
Yeah.
And so, whatever energy that you're carrying around that maybe you don't see that you're emitting, when someone comes in contact with that energy and they're not of that energy, you're going to get this type of contention and environments that create that. Because even if you're walking around selfishly and like, I'm not verbalizing these things, I'm not wearing but I can feel your energy though.
Energy, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
I can feel your energy though. I can feel your condescending tone.
Yeah.
I can feel what you really want to say. I can look at your body language and decipher and use deductive reasoning to arrive at a conclusion.
Right.
Well, there's always an engine behind the vehicle, right? And we always talk about that. That scripture that you're talking about is so deep, and that scripture, like you said, whether you manifest, whether you believe in God, whether you believe in the Most High, however, that law
universal.
Or that principle
It's
is
universal.
a universal principle.
It's universal.
Where, out of the mouth, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And that word heart actually means cardia. And cardia, cardiac arrest, whatever. It means heart, mind, soul, will, emotions, all of that. So when people say, the law of attraction, or what I put out or what I put in comes out, it's the same thing.
It's
karma.
So karma, same thing.
Whatever you want to call
however
it.
you want to
Sowing and reaping, whatever.
Whatever you want to call it.
But energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transferred.
It only be transferred.
So when you have negative energy and positive energy, one of them is going to have to overtake the other at some point in time. It can't just keep clashing. That either the positive is going to overtake the negative, or the negative is going to
Lightness and
overtake.
darkness can't dwell in the same place.
No, they can't.
Bruh, this is why my house is dwelled emptily.
So that's why we have to. And when we're telling,
it's all embodied by Raj.
and I think to bring this back full circle, so we can get onto the Richard Sherman.
All dark.
Here we go.
Damn it.
So we can get onto the Richard Sherman conversation. In times right now that we are in, where we are extremely sensitive to mental health, depression, anxiety, fear, all these things, you have to be extremely careful on what you are allowing to bring in, and who you are allowing to be around.
Because that circumvents so much of your existence, bro.
Yeah.
It does.
It has so much.
And you
effect
got to
on
take
life.
your own. You got to take your own inventory. Like the conversation that you were saying, I think us as men, because we're all men here, we can talk about it. We deal with that conversation a lot,
Every
where
day,
we have to
take
combat
inventory.
feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And we have feelings too, and I don't want to say make it seem like that if we're dating somebody, if we're dating a woman, that she has more feelings than we do. We all have feelings, but
she does.
But no, I wouldn't say
I don't know.
there's some.
I'm
There's
gonna
some
say
men-
that they do.
There's some men that are more emotional, but I think as a social construct, women are more
Emotionally driven.
No, I wouldn't say that. I think that they're more. It's more accepted for them to be emotional than it is for men to be emotional.
Thus,
right?
the result is they are more emotionally
No.
driven. As a man,
I think we suppress our emotions.
because
I think we have emotion.
for two things with this thing. One, we don't really have a space. We haven't had a space growing up to where we could be emotionally available.
Right.
And then number two, in order to be a good leader, a good head, the emotional space and the logical space, you have to figure out which one to operate. Emotional intelligence is imminent for us, right? Because I'm not building. I have kids, right? And my wife, my kids, all these things, right? I cannot be in an emotional space when I'm making long-term decisions for my family.
No, and that's
Right.
true.
Yeah.
But does that mean that you don't have emotion?
No.
That's what
But
I'm
I'm not
saying.
allowed to. But I can't operate.
I guess the way I look at it,
it can't be my motor to my vehicle.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I'm
Because
not saying that. Yes, in certain situations we cannot operate in emotions, but it doesn't mean that we don't have the emotions.
No,
Yeah, so-
we're agreeing.
I guess the way I look at it is like men and women are biochemically different. You know,
Yes.
one has testosterone, one has estrogen. One can carry
Not in 2021, fam.
One, see,
Don't start.
I'm not falling for the bait, man. I'm not biting. I'm not biting. That's like clickbait. I'm not doing it. So I guess what I'm
on the live. You don't want the alley-oop?
No, that was just gonna go right over. I'm gonna be Antetokounmpo on that one.
Oh, don't do that.
Hey, you threw that one on the backboard.
We're going to have to get into the Richard Sherman conversation.
I'm the Greek freak.
Right.
So we're biochemically different. We have strengths that are unique to our biochemical makeup. And as men, when we're shooting the shit or locker room talk, however you want to say it, whatever colloquialism we want to use,
right.
There's times that we like, man, girls be tripping. They're way too emotionally, fly off the handle.
Yes.
Everything, damn, they can't just listen to the logic or whatever.
Yes.
But at the real root of it, their emotions are so beautiful. It's so much strength in what they bring to the table. If you grew up with a loving mama, don't nobody love you like your mom.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That nurturing, that feeling that everything's going to be okay. I've never carried a child in my womb. I've never felt a life grow inside of me. I've never been in touch with a level of emotion of that extreme.
Right.
However, it doesn't discount that I'm an emotional individual, that I have feelings, that I have things that drive me, that I want to feel secure as an individual. I want to feel validated. I want to feel that the things that I go through have importance as well.
Facts.
And when you work collaboratively, the logic that we may have are rooted in this testosterone gives me certain protective measures that I don't have the liberty maybe at times to feel these things because of what I may go through. Right. And vice versa. That as someone who, if you got a good ass girl that's down for you, she might be able to see things that you don't see. Like that ain't really your homie. You know what I'm saying? Like I know you think that's your homie, but like I have certain intuitive things that are to protect me from certain things.
So you're talking about working together?
I'm talking about
not in 2021.
I mean, it can still happen. I have faith.
Well, see, but that's what I'm saying. Like, so when we're in a situation where we're like,
not in 2021.
When we're in a situation, I think to kind of, and that kind of is a perfect segue, is when you are in a relationship where a woman, because we've all been there, where she says, I feel like I'm not being heard.
Right.
And even though you may know I'm hearing you, I hear exactly what you're saying. It's in my head, it's embedded, but just because somebody says, just because I say I am hearing you, if that other person feels like they're not being heard, what you're saying doesn't register to that person.
Right.
Vice versa. I have said, hey, you're not hearing me. Like, I know you're not hearing me because your responses don't match up to what I'm saying. And it's like, no, I'm hearing you. No, you're not. I can tell you're not hearing me. So even though somebody says it and they say, this is how I feel, I think back to the societal group, we all got to be on the same page, have compassion. Then that mechanism, that macho, that ego, that like, hey, look, I'm ready to shut down because maybe I don't have as much emotional intelligence, or as much, I'm not as in touch into my emotions, or in this moment, I know that it's almost a fight or flight. I'm getting to the place where I'm going to fight or flight. We have to be better at, let me kind of arm it down and say, okay, why do you feel like that you're not being heard? Because then that speaks to our logic, because we think logically. If you give me a problem, I'm looking for a solution.
Right.
So why? Why do you, what am I doing that makes you feel like that you're not being heard? And then if it's a response, because we have the power as men to kind of bring that down a little bit and say, okay, look.
No, it's 100% our power.
Yeah, I know. But in some senses, like I was saying earlier, some people just have that filter where no matter what goes on, I know whatever the answer's going to be is 5.
Yeah.
Whether it's 1 + 3, it's 5.
Right.
7 + 5,
because they're not actively listening.
Right. No, and not even that. It's that
they've already made up their mind.
They've already made up their mind on what
their cup is full.
Right.
No,
or they're not allowing anything, or they're not allowing.
They're not allowing anything else. So, but once again, is we have to be able to disarm that to figure out where is that coming from. Because then when you figure out where it's coming from, a lot of times it's because I've been in a situation where I've taken that situation personal, where it's like damn, like I've done everything that I could do, and you still don't trust me.
And
you
still
don't
1
do
+
this, you
3
don't
is
do
5.
that. But then later on, I was like, you know what? that filter had nothing to do with me because she had that filter before she met me.
Right.
So it's, you know what? I've tried to love you as much as I can, but obviously what I have to bring you is not filling whatever void you got. So you're going to have to fill that void on your own. And maybe once you
Healthy
do that,
boundaries.
then we can work together later once you come back full.
If
I'm
you don't find somebody else who doesn't know 1 + 3 is 5.
Or somebody else might be more patient or might be to be more in touch with your emotions that may be a better fit for you. It's fine. Everybody's not supposed to work together.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
100% agree.
And you have to work on yourself. And I think that's where
agree.
our society, again, where it comes into individualism.
I feel like but I feel like that's the part that we don't do.
We don't
work on us.
That's not preached. I don't have to work on myself.
We always want. See, every time I hear about the conversations, like you said, the 1 + 3 thing was fucking hilarious. Actually, seven plus 4 is 5. You know what I'm saying? But when I hear that, the number one thing that you're supposed to do, is you have to take inventory of self, right? And you have to do checks and balances of self. And I think, like you said, like we talk about so many times on this podcast, it's such a foreign concept to be accountable for how you are and maybe make the change in yourself. Nobody feels like they need to change
because they're selfish,
right? Bingo. In their most pure, like we said earlier, the most pure form, nobody wants to change. Like you said, I've been in situations where even if I am digress, let's talk about it, and then you're still getting that boom.
I don't always think it's rooted in pure selfishness.
Well, I don't think it's pure selfishness. I don't think it's rooted in pure selfishness.
Well, because I think what happens is when
you gotta learn when
unhealthy coping mechanisms aren't created in a day, and they're not undone in a day. And and so sometimes it's not as much selfish as it is
defensive.
I don't know where to start. It's inadequacy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to fix it. I don't know why I feel this way. I don't know why I shell up when I'm in this. Like I've never. So it's like going back to the academic conversation we're having. In all academics, right? I was a nerd in school. You were a nerd in school. I don't know what your school backgrounds
We were
are.
gangster nerds.
Yeah.
We shot
that's what I'm
people
saying.
and
Like,
got straight A's.
I only say that because the common understanding of nerd is you got good grades. You retained information. You tested well, whatever, right? You were able to regurgitate information. Right. So right. And it doesn't mean that all these other things weren't intact, right?
Yeah.
So in any kind of academia, chapter starts. Here's these bold words. Let me familiarize you with the terminology. Then we're gonna throughout, and then we're gonna hit you with some jewels, some the philosophical standpoint, and then at the end, right? But we never take in information like that. Like, hey, this is what trauma is. This is how it manifests itself. Let me get you familiarized with biochemically how the body works. What cortisol is, what adrenal glands are, how these things impact your decision making, your psyche, your whatever the case may be, what your lineage is, your background, what things are like. Those things are never talked about. So when you end up dealing with people, you're always addressing the symptom, and you're never addressing, like you said, asking this follow-up question to get out of your own way to say, I know this is making me feel this way, but I'm not really going to get to a better level of understanding if I don't get out of my own way and say, but why is that making you feel that way?
Exactly. Yeah, but here's a cool reality, and I like to deal in reality because this is how the world works. At the end of the day, the faster you figure these things out, the faster you work on them, the more progress you make in life. Because the way that life works is those people who don't have the edge or who don't get taught these things, they get left behind. And that's the real reality. I think even the being left behind portion puts you into another level of depression, right? Because it's hard to find someone to be with or someone to even work with or do business with if every time you get into a relationship, you destroy said relationship, right? Even if you don't know, right? When you go on a job interview and you have this, and this, they don't ask you about your background and say, is this why you didn't get this, and this? Maybe we'll help you out. That's just not life. You know what I'm saying? So and so I'm going to probably sound like an asshole again, and we can live per usual, but we can live in a place where we can make all the excuses for why our life isn't in the place where we aren't, where it's not, right? Or with all the information, or I'm not gonna say that people aren't taking accountability because of what they don't know, but at this point, as an 18-year-old male, I was responsible for developing myself. You know what I'm saying? I took it upon myself to make sure that I was everything that I did. I became everything that I wanted to be and the things that I didn't want to be. And then I took inventory on how my relationships panned out. So when we're talking about relationships, there's just some things that some people just don't want to tolerate, especially the older you get. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's things that people want you to have accountable for. And I understand all the mental health and mental stress of it all, but we could talk about it, the root of the problem forever. But the real solution is go work on yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think
at the end of the day.
And I think when we were saying selfishness, you know, obviously the context of it is important. So when I'm saying selfishness, I'm saying people that in a situation where there's conflict, and again, the preconception or the answer that they already have concluded in their mind is that it's not me.
Mm-hmm.
That it's
that
them,
is
it's them, and every situation they go to is them, it's
bro,
them, it's them.
You can just read people's Facebook statuses.
And when I say
see
selfishness, it's to me, it's very selfish. And again, this is obviously there are mental health issues, there's childhood trauma, there's all of that. I'm just saying, in just that vacuum, it is very selfish to say, I don't want to sacrifice or take the time to evaluate me and figure out what part did I play in this, and automatically go to and use a defense mechanism, however you want to play it, that it was not me.
So we're both talking. About the accountability aspect,
right? And not taking accountability to me is at some level selfish.
It is
because
selfish.
You don't have to then spend the energy or time to figure out what you play again, what part you played in that situation.
But then, look, like I said, it resolves in a lifelong history of things that don't work, relationships that fail, businesses that don't get completed. Right? You can blame everybody for everything in your life, right? But if you're not having success repeatedly over and over and over and over and over again, my man Photo B said, you got to live with yourself every day. You are the common denominator for self, right? And I'm going to speak from my generation, from 30 to 45 years old, right? We're too old at this point to keep playing that game.
Well, not unless you are in a situation where you are enabled to not have to suffer the consequences for your actions.
Well, it's still too old.
And I feel like for me, team sports was like everything.
Bingo. That's
helped,
development.
Yeah. It really unlocked so many of these like life lessons. Like because when I played baseball and you, like you said, when you're someone saying it's not me, it's not me, it's not me. Like, yeah, but you keep popping up the ball, like you're dropping your back shoulder. You know what I'm saying? You're dropping your back elbow. Like you're opening up your hips too quick. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not driving the ball. You're not, you know what I'm saying, putting the levels like, and if you don't practice, you don't play.
But
and
even in that analogy today, because I know what you're talking about. Yeah, you had to be accountable with
everybody gets a participation trophy.
But today, for instance, if I'm a dad and I'm bringing you a highly recruited baseball player that, in my eyes, can never do wrong. I'm at every practice. I'm at every game. And you try to coach my son up, and I come and I tell you, don't talk to my son.
Right.
Then again, as a father, I'm creating a bubble where whatever he hears,
you're enabling that person.
You have done nothing wrong.
Right.
If you made a mistake, don't worry about it. Don't listen to the coach. You listen to me. So when he grows up, the tools that we're saying that he should have developed, now he doesn't have that toolbox that most people have. And when he gets into an argument, conflict, issue, fired, doesn't get the job, it's defaulted. It wasn't my fault.
Right. But again, we see how this ends up playing out, right? These people that once they get to a professional level become malcontents. People will only enable them while they can do the things that benefit their bottom dollar.
Exactly.
You're keeping fans in the building. You're selling, but as soon as you have that season, you're a wrap. It's a wrap. You're done
because there's no longevity. There's no life longevity if you don't learn the lesson. You might get it right now.
Right.
You might
Quick
get
buck
it right now.
Well, for us,
yeah, for us,
there isn't.
You might get it
for other races that have the generational wealth.
Yeah, but we for sure. But for us, even in our relationships, you even I tell chicks all the time, you're hot right now. right? But you should be focusing on building yourself every day. If you have a man or not, you should be building yourself. I tell dudes the same thing. Bro, you got a little bag right now. What happens if you get in a car accident?
Right.
What happens this? What happens this, right?
Yeah.
See, this shit, but like you said, it's foresight for me that enables me to come back and do the things that I want to do, today. And for me, one of the hardest things personally for me growing up was because I was a nerd and because I was getting scholarships playing basketball, I always got special attention, right? So my grades never failed because teachers wanted to put time into me because I was already producing at a higher level. I got special coaching. I had colleges recruiting me in sophomore year. So I got benefits of when I was messing up, they were pulling me to the side and they were trying to correct it because of potential. You understand what I'm saying?
But I guess to your point, like, just because you're winning doesn't mean you're forming good habits.
And that's what I was going to say.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just because, like, there's games that you win and, like, we rallied back. We coughed up a 9-run lead. We ended up winning 9-7. You know, there was an error here, then it snowballed to this, bad recognition on a play.
Yeah.
And it's like, we shouldn't have won that game.
No, facts.
You know what I'm saying? But people are like, well, we won. Like,
yeah, but
did you though? You know what I'm saying? You're forming
that,
bad habits.
That was my
point
point, though, Rob. My point, focus. My point was because I had all these things laid out for me, right? As an adult, I ended up going to jail because I thought I could do what I want, and I thought that I was gonna be saved from that. You understand what I'm saying? I ended up losing my real estate license. Ended up doing being picked up by the feds. You know what I'm saying? All kind of shit that if I would have just listened to my pop,
it caught up back to
bingo.
It caught up to you.
So it even caused divorce, all kind of shit, right? Like things that, like you said. So when you're in this bubble, right, it's sometimes harder to fucking catch on. You know what I'm saying? And it does. It makes you subconsciously. I'm not conscious. I don't think for myself. I won't say everybody. For me, I wouldn't say that I wasn't consciously like selfish,
right?
Or I wasn't consciously about Rajeo, right? But because that was my world, right? At that point, until you get into, like you said, adult life, and you got to go do real man shit. You know what I'm saying? That's when life changes, and that's why I think I hold a standard of accountability for people because. You are responsible for creating, man or woman, you are responsible for creating an environment that's conducive to you living a very pleasurable life. And sometimes, like you said, even though you don't want to hit the gym, you got to hit the weights. You got to get stronger by going through the experiences. And sometimes that shit hurts.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think everything we're saying is correct. And I think, cause we like an hour and this was a good conversation.
Hey, let's just we could cut some shit off the list.
No. It's I think this is all needed because I think it also plays into what we're about to talk about is that we also have to have enough compassion to understand that even though we feel like we're all running the same race, not everybody started at the same starting line.
That's 100%.
Right. That's what I was going to say when it comes 100%. To because I know where you're talking about when we're talking about pretty much having a foresight. Yeah. Right. For things getting done. A lot of people don't have that because they don't have They don't have the
tool set.
It's not just the tool set. I can never get the right word I want to use. They don't have the liberty to actually look towards the future.
That's a good
a lot
point.
of people are actually
that's dope.
Yeah,
that's
a lot of people are actually in survival mode.
That's a good point.
Right? Even when they're good, they're not used to it, so they're still in survival mode. They gotta think about what's going on now, what's going on. They can barely think about
do what they have to do.
They gotta do what they gotta do. So they can't think of what kind of things are going to affect down the line.
Nature
because they don't know
nurture.
what kind of stuff can affect that.
Yeah.
Of course, when it comes down to accountability, people will start learning that, but it's still hard to get out of that mindset.
Talk to some of these parents. Like, you think I had time to work on me?
But that's the thing. That's the thing with, like he said, with the bubble. In the bubble, you don't have to have foresight because you're not learning that. You're just learning that I'm good now.
Yeah.
You know,
I think he's saying,
I know but he's saying for the survival thing. But, But I could, in my own experience, I could see that, right? How you're in survival mode, you don't really get to plan for the future.
But you know what? I've been there. I've been there where you're talking about right now, and I can say without any reservation, you make time. You know what I'm saying? Like what happens is that's fear is like an illusion. You know what I'm saying? Like false evidence appears real. You know what I'm saying? Like you get to that point, I don't have time to work out. I don't have enough. There's not enough time in the day. I don't have time. I don't have the luxury to self-care. That's an illusion. You know what I'm saying? That this 5 minutes when I'm waking up, I'm about to go wake up my babies. You know what I'm saying? We got to go get on this grind, whatever. I got to go to work. I got to work a double today. I got to, whatever. Like, there's time to be intentional with your energy. There's time to say, this day, this is how I'm going to start my day. I'm in the drive to work. I'm going to take this off and I'm going to be in silence and I'm going to work through these thoughts. There's time if you make it. There's in the 24 hours of a day, there's 5 minutes to give thanks.
I think those are learned and taught behaviors. I agree.
That's what I'm saying. But just saying this is non-existent. Yeah, is not. That's not empirically correct. No, yeah, you know what I'm saying. That's correct in your world.
But you're still saying you're still saying that even in survival mode, you need to be accountable for how you're spending or accountable for your life in the future, right? Or the energy that you're putting into other places. But I think what he's saying in the chaos of being a survivor. I don't think that you think about those things because let's say let's say you have 3 kids and you're a single mom, right? Every day is about those kids, whatever 100%. You know what I'm saying? So
I think every situation is different. I think you can't put everything into one category because there are some people that just don't manage their time. But there's some people, like I said, like that's a single parent mom that is working 2 or 3 jobs where she is just every day is how do I get food on the table? Right. And I can't even think about tomorrow because I'm still trying to get through today. So and then again, the trickle down effect is, you know, like how you were saying how you've had the luxury of having a mom that was nurturing, that loved you, that showed you what a mom should be and what a healthy relationship with another woman is. But in a situation where you have maybe a single parent mom that's at work all the time, she's dropping off the kids to different places, different daycares, whatever, where the main primary daycare or caretaker is somebody that maybe doesn't have those tools. So, you know, you have 2 different households where you have love, nurturing, caring, there, attentive, present, not present, but is loving, but still just trying to get food on the table. You know, obviously different people get affected by different ways. So in one household, you may have that example, the other household that you don't. Then when you get older, you may not know how to deal with that or how to exude it or how to even interact with it because you never had it.
I agree with that 100%.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so I think that's what he's saying. But I think different situations are different because you may just have somebody that keeps saying, oh man, I just don't have the time. But it's like, dude, but when you get home, you have watch TV you have for 3 hours.
Right.
That's how I
you know what I mean?
That's most.
You know what I'm saying? So as I'm saying, I think you guys are both right.
Yeah.
I think it just depends on the situation. So let me get to I know y'all those that have been listening, thank y'all for rocking with us for 1 hour and 12 minutes while we had this deep philosophical Bible study /
mental health
capitalism argument. And y'all was like, man, when are you gonna get to the Richard Sherman conversation? Now. Okay. All right.
What's your question?
So Richard Sherman, I'm gonna just do a brief overview so that way we can get to the deeper conversation.
Deeper than this?
Deeper than what we just had. So for those who did not know who Richard Sherman is, he is a NFL player that played for both the Seahawks and for the 49ers as of recently. He's a free agent. On last week, according to a 911 call from his wife, he was overly drinking, allegedly had a bottle of Hennessy and a bottle of vodka. Mm-hmm. And for those that y'all know that if y'all used to be at parties and kickbacks back in the day, you know you don't mix light and brown.
He probably had Henny Rock.
What the hell is Henny Rock?
Henny and Ciroc.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Look, Miami last year was fun.
Is that what y'all do now?
Bruh,
I had Don Henny Rock.
Oh my God.
It's a party.
Anyway,
it's a party. It's a
Oh.
party.
I thought we were crazy for mixing Hypnotic and Hennessy.
You was really crazy if you doing Black Supermans back.
I remember
then.
that.
Those were the ones.
I was definitely drinking
Anywhere else, like, y'all still drink this old drink? Like, yes. Like, this is what it is.
It's premeditated.
Black
It's
Superman's
premeditated blackouts.
AMFs.
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 Those were the ones.
All right. Anyway,
Can't believe I was drinking that bullshit.
So he was
I'm gonna have to
drinking.
hit Blue Q one of these days and get another blue Black Superman.
Let's go today.
I'm with it. I'm so with it.
Watch me, you
feel me? I'm an Uber. I'm gonna get a room downtown, so I ain't going nowhere.
Richard Sherman. Okay, so we drank 2 bottles allegedly. Got into a car accident. He wrecked his Mercedes. I guess there was construction on the highway. He wrecked it, but then he was able to drive it. He ended up at his in-laws' house where his wife and his kids were there, and he was under the impression that his kids were being held from him. He tried to break into the door. He knew the code, so he was able to open up the door slightly, but they had a latch on. As he tried to break in, his in-law sprayed him with mace and was armed with a gun, ready to protect, obviously, the kids and his child. And basically, she called 911. For time's sake, I don't have time to play the 911 call. It is on YouTube. It's all over the internet if you want to listen to it.
My segment.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
For reference for the trash.
So they called 911. She was on the phone for 30 minutes with the 911 dispatcher. Finally, cops did get there. The cops, they parked about 10 minutes away from where the house was at, and they walked up. They were actually, I think they handled it pretty well. They were cordial. They kind of talked them down.
He was making jokes about how polite they detained him and stuff.
But when it got to the conversation of trying to arrest him and put handcuffs on him, then Richard Sherman basically told him that they're going to have a long day. If they try to put him in handcuffs, they had to call K-9s. They finally got him subdued. They took him to jail. He had a bail. Then the judge basically, because of his good character, his good integrity, what he's done amongst the Seattle community, they dropped the bail. They released him. And he was first originally charged with burglary, domestic violence, or domestic burglary. And then they ended up dropping that, and now he has 5 charges. So in an ESPN article, he was actually, there's evidence, not even evidence, there's a report that back in February, he had an incident where the King County prosecutors and the sheriffs obtained an extreme risk protection order for Sherman, which barred him from having guns after a judge determined that he posed a danger to himself or others. So it seems like that this has been ongoing for a while. During the 911 call, the wife was saying that he was threatening to kill himself. He was threatening to harm others. If police did get there, that he would end up harming them as well. So he was basically having an episode. Upon release, Sherman actually released an apology where he basically apologized for his actions and said that he appreciated all the support and all the help that he was getting, and that he would definitely try to get all the emotional health and the mental health in order, just to kind of paraphrase. His wife was very supportive. Family was very supportive. All the community was very supportive. So to me, in a situation where this could have gone extremely bad and extremely wrong, to see a situation where it came out pretty positive, where nobody was hurt, and that the mental health aspect of a black man was taken into strongly consideration. I think it's kind of said that the wife had to beg them not to kill him, but but I think with the police, I think with the community, I think with the wife, I think everybody self-involved handled it, I think, the best way that they could have in the situation. Even the father-in-law having the restraint of not using the gun, using the mace first, to try to subdue him. We talk about mental health a lot, and we usually talk about that black men don't have the luxury of having that into consideration. How do we feel about Richard Sherman's endeavor, or what occurred with Richard Sherman, and then how the community at large reacted to it?
Well, we'll let you start. You never start.
I'll start.
No, we'll let you start.
Go ahead.
What's the question again? Don't laugh. Don't laugh. You did the same thing.
How do you feel about how Richard Sherman handled it? How did you feel about his endeavor?
And then how do
the people around it, the community?
How do you think that with most of these calls usually going left, how do you feel about a black man? How do you feel about society at large having sympathy for a black man and his mental health?
I have two things.
A lot of times they don't care. Majority of the time they don't care. They just see what they see what they want to see face value, and they just expect it to be how it is. Especially being as though somebody who is a football player who has an aggressive career, right? So based off of his history of how he is on TV and media and everything like that, people are going to lump him in with a certain situation. So it's actually refreshing when somebody is like, hear him out. When they allow to hear him out. And it's like, okay, I'm not going to put everything that you've gone through into the situation, but it's like, let's hear you out. Like, you actually handle that well.
So what I think is his saving grace is the deposits that he's made.
Exactly what I was going to say.
So
I was going to say.
So you're talking about a player that played at Stanford University, known as an intellectual. Even when he talks about things that are happening in the league or racial issues, he's articulate. He's
the poster boy of what a good black person.
He's the vice president of the NFLPA.
Yeah, but he's like the poster boy of like
he's built up deposits, things that he's done in the community. Furthermore, he was proactive and self-aware enough to say, I'm going to be confrontational with the cops. Do not shoot me. This was very clear that his wife communicated that on his behalf, that he said it is going to be a problem. He doesn't want to get shot. He's not right. You know what I'm saying? And he was self-aware enough that even off of a bottle of Henny, a bottle of vodka, knowing that he's had mental health issues, to say, I don't want to take it here. I don't want it to end fatally. I don't want to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm aware enough to know I have problems, but I don't want to be murdered. I don't want to die. You know what I'm saying? I want to get help. And so I think because of that forethought, even in this situation and feeling out of control, he had enough wherewithal to understand the long-term, the vision is, I want to make it home. I want to be a father. I want to be a husband. I don't want to die, but I am struggling.
Is it?
Well, and his wife. And his wife. She was the one who communicated.
She wrote
all
for him.
that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is it far-fetched for me to feel like, even though this turned out fantastic, is it far-fetched? Is it unfair for me to still feel like if this was anybody else but Richard Sherman or a celebrity player?
That was going to be my next question.
Right.
Yeah. It wouldn't have turned out that way had it been somebody else. No.
You understand what I'm saying? No. So yeah, I applaud it. But this is Richard Sherman. Like you said, he is not. He was a part of the Seahawks Legion of Boom. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like he's like an unknown guy. It's not like we don't know that his character is great.
They wouldn't have treated Marshawn Lynch like that.
Not even in the slightest. But let's go deeper. Like a regular dude who's having a mental breakdown, who's having an episode, who's having a manic attack, right? Or the result, to me, I love how it panned out, because I never want to see anybody die. But I know in my heart that if this was a regular, everyday dude,
it's Richard Sherman.
Exactly what she said. You know what I'm saying? But if this was a regular, everyday father, a regular, everyday, because we just watched the cop kill a girl with a knife, right? Just a regular, everyday citizen. Would the love and the leniency be the same?
Nope.
Right? And so I do applaud it. I do applaud
it's
that.
It's a cool story.
It's a story to man. When I was doing the research on this story, I just felt like it was for us to feel like the police love us again. I don't want to, and it made me kind of feel bad, because I don't want to feel like that about the life, but the reality in my head just couldn't escape the fact that if this was a regular dude who was trying to kick in somebody's door,
I think it's also
a Mercedes. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's also worthwhile to mention that in the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Portland,
you're getting whopped, bro. I played ball out there.
No, I'm saying
it's more progressive.
That's what there's where I'm going with that. The whole backing of defund the police, send out mental health experts when these type of systems.
Right location.
He's also happened to be in a location where these conversations, these protests, these things are at the center, right, at the epicenter of conversations. You know what I'm saying? So I think the stars aligned.
See,
you know what I'm saying?
I didn't want to be
they
the
parked 10
negative.
minutes away.
I didn't want to be the negative. I didn't want to be the guy who just saw. But I can't shake the feeling that if that was me, bro, I probably wouldn't be here today.
Well, I'm with you. The way I looked at it was in inverse of that. It's good that it's on record, that it's documented, that it's possible for you to actually respond to a mental health call and not end up with somebody getting hurt.
There you go.
But it's also bad because it's like the only person that was able to get that treatment is a professional football player that used to play and won a Super Bowl in that city.
Facts.
So of course he's going to get super,
It's
better start treatment.
Well, she said it. It's Richard Sherman.
So to me, it's like, but I just overanalyze stuff. To me, for him to get that kind of a treatment, his wife had to make sure that she told the 911 dispatcher that over and over and over again, pleading for his life. Even a professional star athlete, somebody had to advocate for them to make sure that the police would not come and hurt them. And we don't know how they would have responded if she wouldn't have, but we've seen other instances where it's gone the different way. And the fact that they had enough, I don't even say even foresight, not even that they were strategic enough to park 10 minutes away so that way Richard Sherman didn't see the car pull up. Because they already knew that, okay, this might be confrontational.
If they would have shot that man, the cop who would have shot that man wouldn't be able to live there anymore.
But that's what I'm saying. So they knew already, if this goes bad,
then I have
there's
to
so
move.
there's so many eyes on this situation.
I have to move.
I don't want to be the person that hurts the
icon.
Icon that's in the city.
He's a legend, and he's a legend.
But that same empathy or that same compassion
should be for anyone,
for every citizen,
human beings,
for every citizen.
For mankind.
I don't think that they parked 10 minutes away for kind of like more of a surprise effect of like, oh, the cops are here, because regardless they're going to be there regardless.
Well, no, I think Sherman knew the cops were coming. I'm saying they parked away so that way when they pulled up, it wouldn't have agitated him more. I think it's more of it's more calming to see police walking up to you instead of you pulling up and then hopping out of a car.
Depending on, but I think it's more on just on like
depending on. I'd rather them walk up to me.
It depends, because I mean, like they can just get out regularly. You know, they can still be parked. Like they don't have to be like pull up right on them and everything like that and do it. And it's just about how they get out.
They felt
I
it was necessary in this case.
I think they did it because it was like we already know where they're going, so they're not going to. They already know how they're essentially handling the situation. So like we're not going to put a cop car in front of the house so anybody else could see. And
from cops that I know, like they generally do that because they don't want the person to be aware that they're coming up immediately, and they need to be able to assess the situation when they get there before engaging with the suspect.
When the feds got me, bro, wasn't no cop cars nowhere.
That's the feds. Feds is coming no matter what you got going on.
Who's that peeking through my window?
That's different.
But I'm just, I do applaud the situation, and more so because futuristically, we can hold the police accountable because we've seen it now. We've seen you go in action with someone who's completely out of their mind, right? Who's in hyper aggressive mode, right? Driving a car drunk, running through construction site, and so you're running through a construction site. You're still putting other people's lives at risk, right? That's an infraction, a felony itself, right? Mm-hmm. So obviously it's going to be one of the charges: drunk driving, right? DUI, the whole nine, right? We're talking about everything short of having a loaded pistol, right?
Yeah. And they didn't know if he was armed or not. Yeah.
No, but it's Richard Sherman, like she said on the phone call. She said it like, I expect you to know who this is, and I expect you to handle it accordingly. Even though I'm pleading for his life, I need you to understand who this person is. To this, right? Those cops that arrested him, I guarantee you they're fans of his.
Oh, they have to be.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think the other angle to this is that the domestic violence part of it. So the same way we're saying the cops handled him with care because it's Richard Sherman, other women or men that may be in that situation don't have the luxury of that to be that, right? Because it's kind of like you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. So, and I'm just going to use just that example just as a general. If that's not Richard Sherman and that's just a regular Joe Smo, right? Mm-hmm. The fact that she was fearful to call 911 because as a black woman, you're thinking this call may result in
Dead.
my husband
Dead.
being dead.
100%.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm also fearful that because he's having a mental episode,
He's
that
gonna
if he
hurt
breaks
himself.
through that door,
Yeah.
he's 6'3", 200 pounds. It's not going to be, luckily her dad was there, but what if her dad wasn't there? What if
Yeah.
it was just her and the kids? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it
So
sounded like it
it's
was him that he was. It was the father-in-law.
Oh,
that he
the
was
uncle.
after.
There was an uncle there too.
Well, he was
Yeah.
trying to get his kids back. He felt
Yeah.
like that his kids were being kept from him. But
Right.
what I'm saying is, but what if he wasn't there?
Yeah.
Right.
So now it's like, do I call 911 and could it be potentially be his deathbed, or do I don't call 911 and I'm dealing with the potential, well, not even potential.
He's out of
I'm dealing
control.
with a person that may not be in his right mind that may end up harming me or my children. So who do you call? And I think that's another.
I think that it's unfair that we even have to decide if we want to call the police or not in those situations.
Well,
because
that's
now,
what I'm saying.
now we have to take account.
The
Now,
people
so
that are here to protect
because
may be the people.
because if they shoot him now, I'm responsible. Now I'm gonna consciously feel like it was my fault
Right.
that my husband was, or my wife or my son or my daughter was murdered by the police when I just needed assistance.
Right.
I needed you to do what you were trained to do to
You could be in a
de-escalate the
catch-22
situation.
where someone's
Right.
not safe
And it's
either
not,
way.
and that is not the norm for everyone else. That is a black person's norm. That is for black people. White people never call the police like, please don't kill such and such and such and such.
No.
Kyle Rittenhouse
No.
fucking walking down the street with a loaded AK,
Right.
and the cops driving right past
And
him.
it's
You know what I'm
sympathizers.
saying?
Right.
And understanding, oh man, the Asian salon killer in Atlanta, he
Well,
was
that's
having a
because they're
bad
going
day.
through mental
You know,
health issues. The
yeah.
system failed them.
Yeah.
Bro, whoa.
No, the system failed them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you get the mental health pass when you're not us,
Right.
right? And then so, I mean, for me, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like listening to how this transpired and how it frustrated me. It frustrated me because we got Philando Castillo who was just in his car, right? And we got all these people. We got people being choked out by cops. You already have them in custody. We just had George Floyd died. He was already in custody. You understand what I'm saying? And then he dies. And then Richard Sherman, you have to put the dogs on him, which means you could have put the dogs on anyone else, which means you could have arrested. You understand what I'm saying?
I was watching the TED Talk, and it was talking about, the individuals was talking about depression as a black dude, and he was really great in school and ended up having anger issues and got kicked out of school and all of this stuff. And he was saying that, like, when you see depression in black men, it doesn't look like sleeping in the house 6-7 days at a time. Like sometimes it manifests in anger and rage. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And the from the other side, you know what I'm saying, from these racist cops or whatever, it's just like, oh, this person's just in rage. They're a threat. Like they need to be de-escalated. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's back to the defund the whole police thing, and people have this mindset that means like take all the funding from police and there's no versus, have a mental health professional come out there with the cops.
Mhm.
Let them talk, engage with this person. Like you go into hostage negotiations.
We talk about it all
you
the time.
bring in a negotiator, right? You bring in a motherfucker that's gonna be like,
Professional,
hey, look.
Right.
What are your demands? What are this? I have skills in dealing with de-escalating these type of situations. We don't just go in there and start smoking people. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
but we talk
And
about
this
that
is
on the show
another-
all the time, right? Like, the call should have been twofold. You should have called. There should be a line to call a mental health specialist, somebody who de-escalates manic attacks, right? And with that call, that person should come with the police. Right?
That's 100%.
That's how these things should be structured, right? Those things should be structured in such places. But like I said, with the diagnosis of mental health, we still go to the general hospital, right? It's the same thing with the mental health. They arrest you, then you talk to a judge, and then you get to see a mental health expert to decide if you're going to jail or if you're going to go get some help. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
The fucking process is absolutely backwards.
Yeah.
Right.
And I
You
think
know what I'm saying?
this is just highlights another proponent of why defunding the police is a good solution. And again, when we're saying it's more or less, I don't even like the phrase. It's more or less funding mental health.
Fundamental
Stop
health.
saying defunding. I mean, obviously, you're going to take the money from them, but really, what you're doing is advocating for mental health. And I think the NFL, with all the money that they have, need to do a better job of taking care of their players, especially in these situations where you are playing a very violent sport,
Yep.
where CTE has
CTE,
obviously been a
yep.
problem.
Yep.
And you need to take better care of your players. They talk about player safety, but just added more games to the season.
Right.
But you can't hit him to the head though, so it's cool.
But during training camp, no pads, no hitting, no this.
Right.
But you're adding more games.
Right.
And
Well, because
because capitalism
doesn't move at the speed.
And
of
there you
talk
go.
about it,
There
bro.
you go. Full
Because
circle.
right. So now we've completed the cycle of life.
Facts.
I was telling y'all before, when I saw the list of topics, it resonated a lot because mental health is something that's big. I've dealt with it in my family. I deal with it in family and friends and people close to me. I just wrote a piece that speaks to these type of, exactly what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I said, I ain't gonna lie. I feel my mind is a mess. Get so fucking tired, try hiding the stress. I guess when you a man, you don't cry, you suppress. Especially when your skin is black or brown, it's expected. Vulnerability is a weakness if they telling it. Toughen up, suck it up. That's so effeminate. Mental health is so taboo. You get more respect if your tears are tattoos. Oh, damn you, talking that truth now. It's time to talk our truth now. Bullies made the bully get guns and shoot up the school now. Is it mental illness when brothers shoot up the hood now? From PTSD, all the drama that's in the hood now? Speaking of bullies, 'twas legal to hunt the Negro. Undermine bullets, have bullets silence our heroes. What if the people that's been doing it is the government? Crickets, fuck them. Hope you will follow me, shit is difficult. I'm just real enough to say the shit that they feeling, bro. See, it's both a sliding scale and a slippery slope. Want us to bend down and grab the slippery soap. This ain't a mystery, folks. It's systemic. This isn't just in. This isn't just living. They say it takes a village, but even with the village, if you ain't never lived it, it just may take a minute.
Bars, bro. That's bars. And that's how you rap, son. That's how you rap. That's how you rap. Don't come up here with your weak ass bars and you're not It's a Bop songs. That's how you rap.
Don't end up on Trash as Fuck.
God.
But these are the conversations that aren't happening. You know what I'm saying? But they're very real things. You know what I mean?
Well,
yeah.
And we talked about having a preconceived perception of people, and the police, they usually have us perceived as a threat. When you come to answer to a mental health, it's not, again, oh, he's dealing with mental health. It's, oh, he's being aggressive. He's being angry. He's being violent. And then when you, soon as violent is said, then I need to then suppress the threat, or I need to de-escalate the situation, which for them means combating violence with violence. Where obviously these cops found other ways to deal with it. They did have to bring in a K9, but a K9, it was a scratch to his leg compared to a taser, to a bullet, to whatever.
Right.
So handle all of us with care like that, please. Yeah. Please, because if I have a mental episode, I would love that kind of treatment. Right. Give me the benefit of it.
And unlike some of these cops, the dogs actually follow commands.
Yeah. Well, and you know what's crazy is that most domestic violence cases, it's the solution is you guys both leave, you go sleep somewhere else for the night, and then they leave. Who's to say that the person's not going to end up coming back? Right. You know what I mean? Right. So and they obviously did a good job to protect her, the kids, and everybody else.
And all I saw is it's possible. That's what I saw.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
But it's not nothing that we didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Isn't. I'm not shocked that you guys didn't kill Richard Sherman. I'm shocked that you don't treat every person like Richard Sherman
with the respect. Yeah, exactly.
That's what's more shocking, bro.
Facts. All right, so we're gonna get on to our next segment of the day. It's a bop or it's a flop. Oh, hold on.
Wait, yeah,
we gotta get that in there.
Put it in.
There we go. It's a bop or it's a flop. So, rest in peace, Pop Smoke. We're gonna talk about his album that was just released 4 days before his, I think it was gonna be 21, his 21st birthday. He would have been 21 on July 20th.
Man, that's wild.
If I'm wrong about that, it's either 20 or 21. So please forgive me. Super young, super young. So he dropped his album Faith. Had a lot of features on there: Chris Brown, Pusha T, Kanye West,
20th,
a bunch of different people. And then there was something floating around. Snoh Aalegra dropped the album. I love Snoh, But they were saying that she's our version of Sade, which we can go around the room. And hold on. So first, we're gonna do Issa Bop or Issa Flop. So first album we're gonna talk about is Pop Smoke. So
you gonna play some?
No, I can't play it because then.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I wish I could.
I use it every time.
I wish I could. So let me pull up the album. Here we go. So Pop Smoke album is Faith. We're gonna go around the room. It's a bop or it's a flop. 20 tracks.
It's a bop, bro.
It's a bop.
It's a bop.
I haven't heard the Pop Smoke album, but I can just tell you what I've heard of his music.
So look, I'm gonna give you the features. So based on the features and who produces, so we got Quavo, Kodak Black, Kid Cudi, Pharrell, Chris Brown, Future, Takeoff, Busy Banks, Pusha T again. I mean, it
sounds pretty undeniable.
Some of these
who did some of the production?
You know,
the production,
Pharrell.
Neptunes, Kanye, Pharrell.
It's a bop.
It's a bop.
Hey, listen. I don't even know if Pop Smoke could have got these features alive.
He was buzzing. He was buzzing.
I don't know if you could get a Neptunes.
It was coming.
Bro,
well, maybe not
a Neptunes record.
Maybe not on all one album.
You know how hard it is to get a Neptune with Chad and Pharrell working together. You know how hard it is. You know how expensive that is.
Yeah, obviously there's gonna be more collaboration when someone's lost their life, but he was coming. He was coming.
Yeah, he definitely had a buzz. The Kanye West track with Pusha T, Tell Me the Vision, track number 3. That's the one that's been getting the most buzz. So if you kind of wanted to get a
Kanye did the production on that one,
I think so. I gotta look up the credits, but I would assume so.
Okay.
And then right after that, he hit you with the Rick Ross and Dream feature. So it's
anytime Dream can come back, I liked him on the Nas album, even though I didn't really care for that Nas project that Kanye did. But the song with Dream, I'm like, I need Missy Elliott.
Adam and Eve was
I need Missy and Elliott, and I need Dream back.
That really wasn't Nas' best work.
It wasn't.
Well, see, and we were talking about this off air. I don't like when producers produce over acapella beats or after a lace has been laid. And obviously in Death, you can't really, there's not really much to do that. I like albums that are worked on before they pass and then released. But obviously, I think that some of these were probably worked on afterwards.
This album is gonna win a Grammy.
No, it's fire. But to his point, Kanye did the same thing to Nas. Nas late verses, then he changed the beats and went to ground.
Yeah. Kanye said I could do it better.
You can't do that. As an artist, I want to write to the beat that you gave me. Because I'm writing based on how you make it.
And then we can do some. And then we can do some.
Thankfully, Hit Boy corrected.
Then we can do. If Hit Boy and Nas didn't have the most fire album.
Thankfully, Hit Boy rectified whatever Kanye had uprooted.
Does Hit Boy miss?
Not with Nas.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he's but that's.
I like his album better than like.
Oh, he did. He just missed. Hit Boy just missed with Big Sean and T Grizzly.
Yeah, no, he's the best.
The Big Sean album was not nearly as good as the Nas album.
Yeah, but Hit Boy.
No, it was a good combo. He's
there's a song they just put out called "Take a Little While." Mm-hmm. Big Sean and
T Grizzly.
Not T Grizzly. My bad. Sada Baby is with Big Sean and Sada. Hit Boy produced it.
Got it. So Snoh Aalegra. So she just released an album, Temporary Highs in Violet Skies. In the Violet Sky, excuse me. Dropped the album, 15 tracks. Definitely a bop to me. I love R&B. I love Snoh. I kind of love that, that slower, R&B.
I know it's a bop because I didn't have some of my old work, man. They've been sending me records off of they've been emailing me and messaging me records off the Snoh album.
This reminds me of you.
This reminds me of you.
You are definitely gonna hear some of these songs and women's stories. There's gonna be quotes. It's a bop for sure. The whole second half of the album just fired all the way through. There's some questionable tracks where she's with Tyler, the Creator. I'm not too sure. Are they both signed on the same label?
Oh,
Tyler, the Creator?
Probably. I don't know.
Sure
it just seems like such a misfit.
It's a weird fit. I don't know. Either way, I'll say it's a bop.
Bop. I there's some people very close to me that I'm very I respect their opinion on music deeply. We're peers in that sense. And the homegirl Antoinette was just, was gushing about it. You know what I'm saying? And it's a bop.
Yeah,
It's a bop.
it'll be in the discussions for R&B album of the year probably. It was dope.
Love R&B.
Standout tracks. In the moment. No, excuse me. On My Mind. Dying for Your Love.
I got both of those sent to me already.
Okay, yep. Those are the ones that definitely.
That made me.
He's not gonna let this go.
That made me listen to the album.
He's not gonna let this go.
I'm like, oh, what is this?
Yeah.
It was dope.
I didn't like the album art, but the song.
the album art was little.
I didn't like it.
It kind of left a little bit more to be desired.
Sade would never.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about that. I don't like the comparison.
Me either. It's
All right,
goddamn
let's
terrible.
stay away from comparisons.
okay.
So we're all in agreement.
You know
not
they
do
can.
that.
You know, remember when they tried to do that to Guapole? Remember?
You know, I just
don't. Yeah.
But that would have. But
This ain't it.
at least that is a terrible album
that's
cover.
That's not. I don't like the album cover.
That's not
Just
it.
because you're
It was
light
some-
skinned,
It was some last minute. I need
and you
something.
sing doesn't mean that you're Sade.
And furthermore,
I could have.
you're talking about the catalog.
Of Sade, bro.
Oh my god.
Of Sade. You're talking
Come
about,
on, man.
You're talking about being able to pack out a football stadium. With that music.
Yeah.
Come on,
A
man.
football
It's-
stadium.
and it was one of a kind. I mean, I think T-Pain went on like a little rant about this
Yep.
over the weekend. Where
Yeah,
he
good
said,
for him.
Shit had
He
me.
said you guys need
I
to-
was weak at that rant.
and I don't want to stay touching too much, but he's totally correct. And when you do music,
There's already people that do that.
please just have the courage to try something different.
Mhm.
But obviously, we're in a capitalist society where you follow whatever makes money.
Well, I mean, they the industry created that follow the leader thing. I mean, circling back to our initial rest in peace tribute to Biz Markie.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what was so unique about that era of hip hop before it became commercialized. Is that everybody had their own style, everybody
sound,
brought something
creative,
different,
yeah.
everybody brought their own flavor to the game, and
Yep.
now it's basically just a copycat.
Follow the leader.
Yeah, copycat.
Yep. Totally agree. All right, y'all. We're going to get to the internet wins again, where we talk about the hottest internet topics that are on the internet. First up, very, very quickly, we're going to talk about verses that's
Look
near
at
and
that
dear to my
smile.
heart.
Look at that smile, bro.
Near and dear to my heart.
2 smiles.
Because you guys don't understand. Living in California, being the East Coast.
Can you take my credit card number off of there, please?
Nobody can see it. Like that.
All right. So I love East Coast hip hop.
Boom,
And in
boom,
California, I was
leggings.
always teased.
The minority.
Yes, I was a minority. So Dipset, for anybody that is not aware or does not know about East Coast hip hop, Dipset versus the Lox is probably the epitome of East Coast hip hop in a versus battle, other than the Fabulous and Jadakiss battle that we had earlier this year. So I will be looking forward to this. I might, give me a little Henny, a little, little.
Just don't get vodka.
A little Douce, a little Douce. I'm definitely not mixing.
Little Don Julio, Don Henny Rock.
Don Henny Rock.
Turn
I
out.
might give me a little. I'm not even. I don't even want to predict.
Casanegros.
I'm not even going to predict who wins this battle. I'm going to just sit back and enjoy.
This is his
And I'm
answer.
going
It's
to
good for the
reminisce.
culture wins.
Yeah. So the only thing yeah. You're right. I was going to say that.
Everybody's look. When we have the Lox and Dipset, everybody's a winner.
Everybody wins. The only thing, the one thing that I'm curious on is how they're going to battle.
It's gonna be like an
Does
exhibition.
Dipset, are they going to play solo records? Or
I was concerned about that too.
or are they going to play only group records? Because
Either-
both can do
Either
that.
way, they fight.
But Jadakiss already went.
It doesn't matter.
It does.
Who is gonna go? Who,
But he probably didn't perform stuff off of his newest project though.
Who from?
I know,
didn't
but
hear
it's
it.
20 for 20, so you're going to play your best records.
Who from Dipset is gonna? Cameron could go up with Jadakiss.
Cameron,
Cameron would smack JD.
He would kill.
Jim got a pretty damn
Jim's
good
got a
catalog.
Jim's last 2 years have been
No, his last
phenomenal. I'm
Jim-
just talking about like the
no.
last 2 years by himself have been incredible.
No, yeah, but when we fly high balling and all that going on, Jim got a pretty damn good catalog.
Jim got.
And
Rich
I'd say that
off
the
of
Lox
Bowling.
have the weakest link. And anybody who knows me knows I can't stand Sheek Luch as a rapper.
But then you
But
got
he did get better on this Living Off Experience.
Definitely got better.
The Living Off Experience album is pretty dope. The last album.
Sheek Luke is what it is, but Styles P ain't really had many hits.
Styles P got bars though.
But he ain't really had like he ain't
got get
okay.
high.
No,
It's his only hit.
not commercial hits, but
but that's what I'm talking
but
about.
his catalog.
Just off of that, if Dipset just played hits that we
Dipset's
all knew,
gonna win. Dipset is going to win convincingly because of that.
But commercial success still by themselves, they didn't. They haven't as a group. Cameron had commercial success before. He brought the commercial success with him, but as a group, they didn't really have a lot of. They were more of a street group. There wasn't. They didn't.
They had do a lot of group records.
They had
though.
Hey Ma, Oh Boy.
We get it on a night.
Commercially,
Get in the car.
but
nothing. Sit in the car.
Locks had records. Locks had records like Rocks. They had Money, Power, Respect. They had high charting.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Only the set could get away with that.
They got records with Big. Those are going to be some hard. Yeah.
Locks.
The Locks.
Yeah.
Money, Power, Respect.
Yeah.
That whole
The
Bad Boy
Locks are
era.
high for
Yeah.
Turning Thompson in the gym.
DMX.
Yeah.
Niggas done started something.
I understand what you're saying, but still.
Mace's verse on Niggas That Started Something.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, every now and then.
Oh my God.
Rack sang
whenever
alumni.
you put Mace on a feature, he turns into like Ultra Mace.
Yeah.
He turns into Super Murder Mace.
I like Mace on 24 Hours to Live. I like Mace on Niggas That Started Something.
P. named me pretty.
Yeah.
Mace is underrated, bro.
Something to grab
You know what?
arms.
Mace need to go.
Mace can go with
Mace
anybody.
would smack somebody around.
Mace need to go.
Mace could go with anybody.
It should have been Mace versus Fabulous.
It should have, because
that would have been great.
That would have been a dope.
And they could have put
Fabulous was like a Mace spinoff.
See, but you know what? But nah, I want somebody from Mace's era.
Yeah.
I want somebody from Mace's era.
who?
Yeah.
Who would you put up there?
Yeah. Who would you put up
That's
there?
a good question.
There's nobody.
Can't
Busta would smack his ass around.
Busta would kill Mace.
Busta would kill him.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody want to see Busta.
No,
Nobody
nigga,
wants
you
to see
noticed
Busta.
nobody
You know what?
said Busta's name.
I want to see
Busta wanted all the
I want
smoke.
to see LL and Busta.
For
And I think
what?
Busta might smack
Because
around.
they're the only people that they've been 80s, 90s, 2000s. They have records.
I mean, leaders of the new school, but I mean, Busta wasn't really 80s.
Tribe Called Quest. I mean, he got record Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah,
I guess
that's
what
part
I'm
of
saying.
Leaders of the
Okay,
New School.
maybe not 80s, but so 90s, 2000s, 2006. They all have records that can span over three,
Yeah.
decades.
Yeah.
Their catalogs match up to me.
Man, I'm gonna tell you what. Like, Bus already had music, but after that "Give Me Some More" record drop, I just went through everything.
Give me some more.
Everything. That beat by itself was just, Spliff was amazing, bro.
Yeah.
He had, and even Bus new shit. Spliff is still like he's still the hype man.
I saw him at probably 2 years ago at the Greek Theater in Berkeley. Mos Def was there that night. Erykah Badu. And Spliff Star was is still the perfect hype man. I mean, Busta's set was that. I got to check that off my bucket list.
Bro.
It was amazing. It was fire.
Yeah,
Spliff is the perfect example of playing your position.
That's something that I got to do
The
before I die.
perfect
I got to go
position.
see. I got to go see a show.
You
of
do
his.
We
gotta
went
see
to-
that.
I've heard from even
We went to New
it's
York.
stupid.
that
we
he's
went
the
to
best live
Yeah,
performer.
we
It's
went
pretty
to New York
stupid.
and we saw Busta perform at somebody's birthday. I forgot whose birthday party it was. But Tinashe was wilding, and that pretty much took over the whole show.
Silly with the
She was
9 milli
on-
with the
she was
dilly,
on
yo.
the table dancing and
All right.
wilding.
So we're gonna get on to
I ain't really been to no concert. I ain't really been to no. I mean, I've been to like Tank's show, but
Tank?
nah. You got
that wasn't on purpose though.
The only
All right,
concert you've
so
been to
we're-
is Tank?
So we're gonna get on
On purpose.
to Indian
He
Red
deserves.
Boy.
Huh?
He deserves. He deserves anything he got. We're gonna say Tank.
It's an emergency.
No, this was what? Right before he dropped
You went,
Sex, Love, and Pain.
the only show you went to was a nigga with no shirt on?
It wasn't on purpose.
What are you?
Okay.
What did
Look,
this fool
can we
say?
get on to the next topic? Okay, next topic. Indian Red Boy. Indian Red Boy.
Look at my fucking show though.
Indian Red Boy.
I've never been to a concert. Just
21-year-old recording artist, real name Rajeo Diane Rivera, was shot in the head 3 times as he sat behind the wheel of a car in the city of Hawthorne. So when he was shot, the video, you can still see the video. I would recommend people not to go watch the video. But it was first reported that he was shot because him and his friend disrespected one of Nipsey Hussle's murals. It was found out later that that may have not been the case. There is a gentleman that he kind of breaks down the situation. It's about maybe about 4 minutes. I'm gonna play it just so we can kind of get some background, and then we'll discuss.
She gets around, they pass her around, and his homeboy even talks him the bitch. Hey, you nigga, go ahead, fuck on the hoe. It was said by that female that Rajeo was talking real greasy about his partner, basically pillow talking. Basically just pillow talking. Okay. The female went and told Rajeo partner, hey, say, man, blood saying this and that and third about you. So that's when homie went and approached Rajeo and told Rajeo, hey, nigga, what's up with all this other shit that I've been hearing? You pillow talking with this bitch or something? You in your feelings or something, my nigga? They end up getting into it. Boom, they end up getting into a fight. They got into a fight right there in front of the homies, right there in the hood. Rajeo ended up getting his ass beat up. His partner put feet, nails, and elbows on that boy. All right? Whenever 2 homies is fighting and the other homies is present, they only gonna allow the fight to go so far. But in this situation, they didn't. Because they know that Rajeo is tender dick when it comes down to these females. They know it. Nigga, you deserve that little ass whooping that you getting right now, my nigga. So, Rajeo partner did not get off of Rajeo. Okay, for those who might be lost, I'm talking about India boy. Rajeo is India boy. Rajeo, that's his government name. All right, so whenever his partner got through whooping his ass, the nigga felt some type of way, not only about the ass whooping and how it occurred, but the fact that the homeboy did not intervene whenever the shit took place. You feel what I'm saying? So that's when he said, fuck y'all niggas, and went to Inglewood. Now, if you're asking yourself, how could this nigga go from one hood to Inglewood like that? Okay, first and foremost, when he was in middle school, he went to school with a lot of them niggas. He been knowing Baby Capone and all them niggas from Inglewood. He been knowing them niggas. So whenever Hollywood did what they did to the nigga, it wasn't shit for him to go to Inglewood and be like, hey, say, nigga, I'm repping this now. You know what I'm saying? They put the nigga behind the building. He got his little fade in. And boom, now you hood. All right? He wasn't even Inglewood that long. And then when he went over there, the nigga started dissing Hollywood. Like, come on, bro. Like, your problem was personal with one nigga behind a female. Your problem was personal behind a nigga with a female. Why are you dissing the hood? So, nigga, you had that coming. You had that coming. And the crazy part about it was, right, when this nigga went to Hawthorne, Chadron Avenue, he was pulling up on the same female that he was pillow talking with, the same female that went and told Rajeo partner the shit that Rajeo was saying about him. He went up and pulled up on the same female. I'm not saying that she set him up. Y'all can put 2 and 2 together and come up with 4. Y'all can.
5.
But 60s did not have nothing to do with this man getting killed. 60s had nothing to do with this man getting killed, bro. And look at it like this here. Whenever that man did get killed, on no platform that you ever see, no Instagram that you ever see or find, a 60 claiming that body. 60s never.
All right. So, streets is talking. Word on the street is it had nothing to do with Nipsey. That had everything to do with a woman in common. And
as usual,
switching hoods.
So pillow talking, hood hopping, and flipping the script.
The usual nigga shit.
Yep.
And these are facts.
And we're gonna talk about Lamar Odom and Tristian Thompson next. But we don't. I don't think we had this conversation on the pod yet, and I want to talk about this conversation. Obviously, if you want to give your commentary on either situation, then we can. We'll go into Lamar Odom and Tristan Thompson stuff a little bit later. But women in common. that's what started this issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it ended up in him losing his life. Sounds like it was a setup.
It was the initial reason, but
led.
once he started being extra, is what it was.
Yeah, because the fade is the fade.
The fade was the fade. The fade
But
was
the fade
that.
was over the woman.
Right, but
But that's where that was supposed to be deaded at.
right when
That's
he
the
when he
reason
hood
why
when he hood hopped and shit.
The hood hopping was the primary
that was the
reasoning
trigger
Of him getting killed.
That's why
Correct.
he's
No,
dead.
yeah, I'm not. Well, what
Yeah.
I'm saying is what started the.
It was more
chain
the
of
shit
events.
talking. It was more the shit, shit talking of the
It's
old
it's
hood,
the
the
hood
dissing the
hopping,
old hood.
bro.
Yeah, I agree. I'm saying what started the chain of events
Was
the woman in common.
Mhm.
Right? Helen of Troy was fought over a woman. So as men, you have one situation where it ended up in a man's murder. You had another situation where Lamar Odom he brushed it off and he said, "Hey, we're both on the same level playing, so we both play for the NBA. We're both, black
Cheaters.
men. So I'm not going to take it any further because I know it can get worse than what it already has been." So, have you ever dealt with a situation where you were in a problem or a conflict or a beef because that may have started because of a woman in common, and how was it handled?
I've never fought. I've never had any kind of altercation over sharing a female.
Me either. Even if I'd messed with somebody before and one of the homies, I take it back.
Yes, I'm
I
about
take
to
it
say.
back. I take
See,
it back.
and it's not
I
even
take
if
it
you
back.
were in conflict.
No,
Somebody
yeah.
might have been in
Yeah,
conflict
I
with
take
you.
it back. I
I've
take
had
it back.
someone try to be in conflict with me.
Yeah,
over,
yeah. No,
over-
I
over
had a
sharing
whole
skirts.
I had a whole situation with one of my guy bro, man. Like I dated this chick before and then he dated her and then it was his conflict. He wanted to compare the relationship of things that she did for me that she wouldn't do for him. And
So they
then-
were pillow talking.
Yeah.
I've let people know
I
that they
don't do- I- but
violated
I don't-
man code.
but
you know
I
what I'm
don't-
saying?
I don't-
By going behind
I don't-
somebody
I
that
don't- I don't-
Backdooring.
I had like it's not just someone you smashed, like someone that I had a relationship.
Nah,
like
see,
if
but
we
I think
smashed,
I think two things count though. I think that if you guys are kids, whatever, I think that don't count. High school,
Right.
I don't that whatever.
That don't count. Not
First
at all.
year college, second year college, whatever. As grown ups, and you actually that's the game. And if you smash somebody, you smash. I mean, I'm not mad at any of my homies that.
Yeah, but if someone popped at your ex-wifey, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
that
wouldn't
you
trip.
know,
I wouldn't
like
trip
that's
off.
disrespectful as
Yeah,
shit to
well,
me.
so but
I don't
no,
know.
no,
To
listen.
Yeah.
No,
To
but
me, that's
but no,
disrespectful
but
as shit.
that's ex-wife.
That's
ex-
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
You had a meaningful relationship.
Yeah, like none of these niggas would be that stupid, right?
I'm just
Because-
saying it'd be
yeah.
disrespectful as
And
shit to me.
and
You know what I'm saying?
she also
whether you care it or not.
she also knows me, so she's not gonna be. She doesn't want to put that kind of pressure on niggas. But I'm just saying, like, if you dated somebody for 2 or 3 months or whatever, and I mean whatever,
It's still a conversation.
It's whatever.
It's
yeah.
a conversation.
It's a conversation. but
And in this situation, he gave the woman to him to smash. He smashed, but then was talking shit to her about him.
yeah, well,
He was out of pocket.
Out
he
of
was
pocket.
out of pocket.
Yeah.
Right? We all agree that's out of pocket.
Yeah.
out of pocket.
If you hand over
You
the
should-
keys
anytime-
to the car
anytime-
and I
any-
run it
any-
into a bridge, it's still
Anytime
my
you run in
car.
your mouth to a female about another man, you know what I'm saying? To me, you're hella out of pocket.
It's out of pocket.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I agree.
Man
Couldn't
law.
agree more.
I agree.
Couldn't agree more.
I've
Like,
seen a lot of drama happen over
bro,
pillow
I
talking.
Bro, that shit happens on social media all the time.
Listen,
It
bro.
does.
I talked to chicks before that I'm just niggas out here. I talked to chicks before, and then they ended up like working with people on music and
Oh,
like
man,
niggas that I've never even known before, and I would hear stuff
there's a
about
group.
I would hear about myself, things that I've never done before from like the same 4 or 5 niggas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's a group of women that have dated multiple entertainers that if you have dated them, your business has been spread around.
Well, it's not none of them. I don't know who you're talking about.
You talking
No,
about
what I'm saying is if
In
you share
general.
women in common,
Oh no, yeah, I don't really have that. I don't really have too many because I was married for so long. So
no, I know. I'm just
Yeah,
saying in like a small, and that's all small cities. If
Yeah.
you date the same woman,
Yeah.
sometimes your business may be
Yeah.
spread.
my mom had this saying, and she from the South, so this just may be an old school saying. telegraph, telephone, tell a woman.
That's facts.
Don't kill the messenger. My
Yeah,
mom.
my-
My mom said, look, my mom said.
Because
it's from
how
a
else?
woman. She knows.
Right.
How else would that business spread?
Facts.
And I'm not saying that she's the one talking shit. She's listening to the other dude talking
Yeah.
shit about you, and
Yeah.
then telling
Yeah.
you or telling somebody else.
Hey, your boy been talking this kind of.
I just know that myself personally, because I don't really. First off, I don't really deal with no chicks like that out here. But second of all, like I just really don't. I really don't talk about other niggas. I got so much shit to go on. So a nigga can never be like such and such said this, but I have the reverse. I've heard niggas materialize information that was incorrect about me in order to smash another chick.
Don't do that.
Yeah, that and I think that's even worse.
You know, but that's
even worse.
It's like a confidential informant or something.
no,
like,
but it's not. Like, how you gonna make a lie?
On top of
and
that,
then
it's
be-
inaccurate.
yeah,
But
how you
but the
gonna-
fact that
Yeah, what are you
to
doing?
gain the favor
of somebody
of
yeah.
a female
Right.
by divulging information, true or untrue,
Right, it
but
doesn't-
just the perception that in this some way, shape, or form, this will elevate me or unlock the key. You know what I'm saying?
Mill play.
yeah, that's
it's-
yeah. The how he did Drake.
No, how he did.
Oh,
Safari.
excuse me, how he did Safari. Yeah. I feel like
Well, no, his was worse.
I feel like this, nigga. If I'm,
His was worse.
I feel like why? Why do I gotta put another nigga? Nigga, my life is great. It's
The worst part about it
fantastic.
is like
It's
some females,
fantastic.
and I'm sure some dudes do this too, but females will try to like alley oop it. Like I dealt with
Right, but I don't
What do you think
care.
about that? I'm like, I don't.
care. I
Right.
never thought of-
Alley oop it, like
You know,
right?
yeah.
Isn't he?
Hey,
doing
no,
this?
that's-
I'm
that's
like, you know
Like,
what?
Since you smashed
Here's-
so many of the homies, why
here's-
don't you just keep going?
Here's where people get mad. Here's where people get mad. When you end up doing stuff like this, like, so what did you do? You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
why-
Like-
why they
like,
feel so
I hear
cool
your
talking-
side, you know what I'm
why
saying?
feel-
But
why
like, I'm more concerned, like, what did you do that merited this type of response? You know what I'm saying? Or I'll be like, let's get them on the phone. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa.
They don't want
See,
to
I
do
don't
that.
even have to do that. I just know that if a chick is talking to me about another nigga, you that nigga's chick. Period.
Well, and you're probably talking to.
You're
another
still in your
person about
feelings.
me.
Yeah,
You're obviously still in your feelings. Like, this is fresh on your mind.
Bro, I've had other niggas call me and be like, "Yo, I know you used to talk to her. I'm going through this. How should I handle it, bro? I'm not on your team like
That's
that.
weird.
I'm not
That's
on your
weird.
team.
I would
Why?
never do that. I would never do that.
Why?
I would never call the ex to ask how to deal
Bro,
with the girl that
I
I'm
had
with.
a nigga call me from her phone. I'll
No.
answer the phone.
That's
He was
weird.
like,
That's
"Yo,
even
bro,
worse.
Call
That's
me from
weird.
her phone.
That's
her
weird.
phone because he's like, look, the
I
numbers
need
are
I
help.
know that.
I need help, fam.
I need
Well, hold on. How did,
Help
she,
me.
Like she allowed you.
That's
to
a
ask my
lifeline?
for
Help
You're a
me.
lifeline?
I gave him the advice.
No,
Help
that's-
me.
that's
I'm
hella
like, bro,
weird,
if you
dog.
gotta
Nigga hit
call
with
me,
the
Hold
phone
on.
a
Where's
friend.
the want?
Hit it with the phone a friend.
you wanna know her name was Star, bro, and his name was Farcon. Just so everybody knows,
I don't trust. Every girl that I met whose name was Star was always a problem.
bro. I got shot at.
I know a star that's hella cool.
Every
Cool.
girl that I've met, her name was Star, has always been a problem.
man, because their parents.
That's
had,
my filter. We
You know
talked about
why?
filters
You know
before?
why? Because their parents had high hopes,
Estrella.
and they,
You should be
No,
called
hey,
Moon.
you know what? I got-
should have been called Moon.
I got
Hit you
a
with the
own.
Luna.
I got my own parameters and rules.
hey,
If
yeah.
your name is anything like Alexis, Mercedes,
Or
like anything
Porsche,
that's like
Porsche, Or Porsche.
No, Porsche is different. Porsche. Anything
It's all
that's
the
of
same to
high,
me.
that's of high ilk, princess, anything like that,
Bruh.
you'll be on some BS usually. So Star, yeah, no,
You're not a star.
I
Nah.
can't.
Hey, I lost.
can't. You'll be on some BS.
I lost the scholarship, bro, because I broke my ankle, bro. She never came back, bro.
See, there you go, shooting star. That's what she was shooting for.
So yeah, but I just
Where you with me shooting in the gym?
Hey, but I will admit this: the juiciest shit that I've gotten about niggas has been during pillow talks. And when I was
Yeah, that's
rapping,
facts.
oh, that shit was golden. That shit was golden.
That's
you got
why-
material.
That shit was golden.
Yeah,
I had
That's
shit
why
for the
you and
diss-
T Mac
I
had
had
so
shit for
many
the diss
problems.
track.
Oh, trust
Trey
me.
Mac. That's why you and T Mac had so much
I've-
beef.
man, People divulge a lot of
Me
shit.
and Trey were always good.
Listen, no, I mean you guys have beef with other niggas. But
Oh, okay.
But this
Yeah.
look,
No, I kept that shit tucked, and I would just listen.
Bro,
I'm like, okay.
I have
For a rainy
to.
day.
Okay.
As-
So
For a
then when
rainy
I would
day.
hear some shit on the track, like, nigga, I don't think you want to go there.
Hey, bro, like
Hey.
For a rainy
You
day.
don't want to go there.
I-
bro.
hey, look, Photo
It's a
B
no-fly
can probably
zone.
Photo B can probably agree with me on this, bro. I see some of the thirstiest niggas in comments, and then sometimes I just want to be like, nigga, you're still trying,
Like, right.
nigga. We been done that,
Right. These
You're
guys,
not doing it right,
bro.
my guy.
You're
these
still
guys
trying.
are desperate
Bro,
and relentless.
Nigga, I watch,
Relentless
bro,
is an understatement.
bro.
Good
I
Lord.
watch niggas in comments that swear to God they're the nigga, like beg.
Beg.
I beg for chicks. I beg for chicks that are in my inbox that I just don't even respond to, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's for me at the end of the day, women are headhunting, they're fishing, right? So they're gonna go where they feel like they have the best chance at this age. They're gonna go where they have the best chance to have a relationship, the best chance to succeed, right? I mean, I never had to talk about another nigga, bruh. I'm gonna tell you niggas. I'll tell you niggas names because you know all of them. This nigga knows all the niggas who have ever told my name to a chick. He knows all. I've
It's
had.
ugly, man.
I've served
Messy.
niggas breakfast at my house, and been married, nigga.
So look, let
We
me ask you a
turned
question.
around and said
Do these
shit.
niggas not think that the shit's gonna come back to the nigga you're talking about?
I don't know
And then
what
they
they're
asked
thinking
me
about
for
at that
beats
time.
and shit. They asked me if
I
I
don't
could
know what
produce
they're
a
thinking
record
about
for
at
them.
that time, but I've heard some of the messiest. I mean, it's a small community. It's a lot of people that know each other. Like, I don't even understand how they could have the unmitigated gall to say something.
Unmitigated gall.
To
How-
say-
How do you even? I'm just even thinking. I'm just trying to think back to my past. How did the conversation, if you're pillow talking, how does it even come up?
Time out, nigga. If we're a pillow talking, like literally laying in the bed.
Yes.
After I just
Well-
smashed. Okay, the last thing I'm talking about is another
That's what I'm
nigga.
trying to say.
Dude,
That's what
man.
I'm trying to say.
What's
How does it
wrong
come
with
up?
these niggas, bro?
Well,
Hey,
no, even in regular life, how does it come up?
Something triggered it.
And you know what I talk about with my
So,
niggas?
I've seen
I
it
talk
happen
about
like this.
I talk
I've
about
seen- so
girls.
I've seen it-
I
want to hear the
girls.
scenario.
So I've seen it happen like this. Maybe you guys do whatever you do,
Uh-huh.
chilling, you know what I'm saying? You all cleaned up,
Mhm.
everybody chilling,
Smoking a
relaxing.
blunt,
and,
whatever.
you know, right, with the
Mhm.
smoking, whatever. And
Mhm.
it just went, you know, woo-de-woo.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, this nigga.
But why you gotta be the
Whoa!
nigga? Why you gotta be that nigga, bro? Hey,
That's solicited
hey,
as fuck.
listen.
They
The
want
only
something to
thing
talk about.
The only thing we talk
Oh,
about.
you
all we
mutual
gotta talk
friends
about.
with blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
Ah, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
That's
hey,
what they got to talk
How
about.
you know? How you know?
the
Blah, blah, blah.
mutual
You know it's
friends.
funny that-
It
hey,
does.
and
That's
you know
how
it's-
it happens.
It does.
And you
It's
can
the
tell-
mutual
and it works
friends.
both ways.
And you can
though,
tell
bro.
about the. You can tell.
It works both ways.
You can tell by the inflection that it's not gonna be anything
Nigga,
good.
nigga, listen.
How
Listen,
you know?
I've had niggas call.
But she already knows.
I've had
Of
niggas
course
hit
She went
me.
through
does.
your whole page.
Listen,
Of course
listen.
she did.
And she asked
All
another
right, all right.
nigga.
I've had
She
niggas,
did a
I've had
reconciliation.
niggas call and ask me to block chicks that they want to talk to now.
Oh,
I've had
my
niggas call and
God.
bro, I've had several times in my life niggas hit me and been like, "Yo, can you delete the pictures that she sent you? Because now I'm gonna take her seriously, bro." Nigga, what?
Bruh, that
How do you even know?
You know I got.
How do
these.
you know
You
I have
know
these
I-
pictures?
I probably took these my damn self.
Look.
And you
How
want to
do
be like,
you
hey, bro, it's time for you to
know?
delete
Look.
those. I still got them.
Nigga, if we're
You get. You know you getting recycled pictures, right?
Ah!
Them pictures is not specific to
Hey,
you,
look,
homie.
I want
Hey,
my- I
look,
got
I
that
need-
picture.
hey, I
I
need-
just flip it
I
away.
need all my
real quick.
pictures to have my name on them, bro. Don't fucking send me
Them
no-
shits
You better send me a video with my name in it.
You know what I'm saying?
Say my name. Say my name.
My name.
I don't want it.
if you getting the pictures with the little watermark on the corner of the bottom,
It's got Snapchat filters and shit. It got the
She
little
put her ad
devil,
in there in
the
case
devil
somebody steals it.
emojis and
Hey,
shit. Like,
the little
hey, this
watermark.
pictures for the streets.
OnlyFans, little watermark.
This
in the corner.
pictures for the
Hey,
streets.
look.
This is like,
Hey.
this is my go-to 3 or 4 photos that I'll send niggas on top.
Bro, niggas really do be out here beefing over ass they ain't never got, bro.
Nigga,
It's
look,
crazy.
Look,
It's crazy.
don't if you listening, don't fall for the mutual friends play. Please don't, cause she already know.
Don't do
She
it.
already asked.
It's a rhetorical question.
She's just trying to see what you about to say.
It is.
And then
and based
she's
on
try-
her response is based on how much information.
And
is-
it's a fishing to see if you're gonna say some bad shit about him.
And they'll follow up too.
Because that's what it is. It's how do you know so and so? Oh, that nigga lame, man. I know that nigga from high school.
No,
He
but
claimed
see,
to be a
here's what
crimp,
happens
but
if
he's
you.
not.
Here's what happens if you play the neutral though. Like, I know it's just people. So it's not really your homie then.
See?
You can't wait. You're chomping at the bit. You cannot wait to give this up because I'm not giving you anything. You're like,
Right.
I'm gonna ask a follow-up question to find out the nature of the relationship.
When niggas that you know have told chicks not to mess with me because I got too many hoes, that's weird, bro.
That's weird.
Come on, man. We know that is a
weird.
Who? I'm
How
talking.
you know how many hoes I got?
I'm talking about.
Right.
I'm talking about producers that don't matter no more. Rappers that don't matter no more.
just hoe ass
Just
motherfuckers
like,
to begin
like,
with.
I'm man.
See, but at
It's
the same
taking
time,
everything in me
at the
not to
same
say
time,
niggas' names right
stop divulging your
we own this
information.
shit.
Huh?
We own this shit.
Right.
Say what you want to say.
No, but these niggas do dive. Well, that's what I'm saying. The problem.
Stop telling your business.
The problem is this. The problem is this. And nigga, niggas can't catch me outside. He knows I go outside.
No, I know.
For very, very specific reasons, right?
I know.
You're not gonna catch me outside. You
I
gotta
know.
pay.
Catch me
You gotta
outside.
pay me
Catch
to
me
come
outside.
outside.
Pay you to come
You
outside.
gotta pay me to come outside. Either that, or when I go to
Come through.
Exactly. Look. Or I have an interest in it, so I go to decon shows because I produce records.
Uh-huh.
It makes sense for me to pay tickets
You're there for
so
a
they
reason.
can get paid.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Or if I'm out, if I go to a Gatlin show, it's because I produce records, right? Or Hen or whoever else I'm supporting, I usually have some mutual business
I got you.
with them, right? So when I'm out, niggas have only ever seen me out with 2 people. You know what I'm saying? Where did these hoes come from?
No, that's now.
Yeah, well, no, I'm talking about ever. I've only ever been out publicly with 2 people, bro. I've only taken
No,
Rye.
No,
Who?
see, I ain't gonna let you do that.
Who
I ain't
else?
gonna let you do that.
Well, only 2 people.
No, listen, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you where, and this is where you have the loose ends that you need to tie up.
Oh,
Because,
shit.
listen, I'm gonna tell you.
Let's talk about it.
Because you do R&B music, and you interact and talk to a lot of women.
That doesn't mean
No,
I got hoes.
listen. And the way you interact with them, from your perspective, you're just interacting with fans and people that are trying to play your music.
I see what you're talking
They're
about.
looking at it like, oh, he's interested in me because he's giving me the time of day.
Yeah, they should know better.
They don't.
I mean,
They should know better.
look at the way
They
people look at my life.
Well, look at your life.
Right. They think
you're a slut.
not as bad as people think.
Not as bad as people think.
No, for real. No.
Now, last time I was on the show, he was booed up. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-oh.
Was that last year?
It was.
Oh, it's fresh. But
I mean, it was. I seen it. He had a twinkle in his eye. Last time was it. He had a twinkle in his eye.
Oh, no.
He was talking about things they was doing together, where they was going. They were planning trips.
You know what? You know what he did? He got to COVID and he had a meltdown like everybody
He
else.
had a meltdown. He sanitized his life.
Hey,
He sanitized his
I'm
life.
gonna tell you what, bro. Sanitization is cool, bro. You don't be afraid to sanitize your life. Just don't
Oh,
replace it with
man.
more trash.
All right, y'all.
I like this photo B.
This one,
Yeah,
Hodo B.
Hodo B.
But nah, people think it's more than it really is. They don't
Always.
because they don't realize that the majority of the time, the only time around these women is on shoots.
When you're working.
When I'm working.
Facts.
You don't see me kicking it with them. You know,
Again.
like if you see me out in the club, it's because I end up running into them.
It's perception.
It's a perception.
It's perception.
I do agree with you though. I do agree with you. I will say that if I ever take a shot at somebody or I want to ask somebody to go on a date, the girls always be like, "Yo, you got hella hoes,"
Mhm.
and I don't have hoes, but I do make
Didn't you
good.
used
It's
to
a-
fuck
it's a
with?
per- it's a perception.
Yeah, and I get so, but I'm not gonna lie. Like between the bakery and music, it probably do look like I got a bunch of chicks.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
We already talked about.
Yeah.
They already know the answer before the question even asked.
right.
So
So I
it's-
can't even give them a real answer because
It's
they already made
because
up
of
their
what I
mind.
see. Because you're doing well. You own this.
You wanna
You're
know what
talking
I-
about how things are going well in your life.
Yep,
so
yep.
it doesn't make sense that you do not have multiple women that are trying to get at you.
I didn't say
wanna
that.
know what
I didn't say we didn't have a plethora.
You want to know what I do with
But
the
we're
rest
just
of this
saying-
caramel and whipped cream? Do you?
All right, y'all.
You know I got a lot of extras,
Lamar
right?
Lamar Odom and
You know what
Tristan.
you use is I can make you into a cheesecake.
We already talked
baby.
about
Lamar
that,
Odom and
bro.
Tristan. I know. I just want to ask this:
We talked
Is
about
it
that already.
is it out of pocket for you to leave the emojis, the fire, the heart, underneath of an ex's page to try to claim
knowing
are
that she's married?
Are Tristan and
They're married.
They're married?
Yeah.
Oh, that nigga's out of pocket.
Wait, whoa.
I thought that was over.
Yeah.
Did they
I
get a
thought that was-
divorce?
They got, they've got
a divorce. Tristan, no, I'm talking
like
about
2 weeks
Tristan and
later.
Chloe. They're divorced?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, niggas,
They're
fair
not
game.
fair game.
I thought
It's
they were,
fair
I
game.
thought they were still.
Maybe they're still legally married,
let's look
but
at it.
but he was caught cheating, and she said that she was done.
Yeah.
If they're divorced, it's fair game.
I mean, I'm not mad at
They're not
Lamar.
friends. They're not
gonna
friends.
research it. We
They're
gonna
not
do the
friends.
research.
They're
We
not
gonna
friends,
research.
right?
From my understanding, they're still together. that he was like,
Chloe said
he got
she's
caught
good.
cheating again, and he was, but yeah, he got caught cheating hella times.
Wendy Williams, okay, with Wendy Williams, the #1 gossip network.
He got caught on video kissing chicks, going in and out of.
Tristan?
Yeah, and she stayed with him anyway.
She said she's gonna be faithful for him.
That's what I'm saying. So they're still married, but I thought it was
mutual ex.
I thought it was funny as shit, and I thought
Mutual ex.
Tristan's response was way over the top.
It was.
It was. He
Hell over the top.
Hey,
like,
nigga, listen,
you're in no
if you're
position.
not about
like,
if you're not
you're
about
unfaithful
it
as
doesn't
shit.
matter.
You
It
have-
doesn't
you're in no
matter.
position.
It doesn't matter what you're talking about. You can cheat all you want as long as you're willing to die for her. Okay, that's how Tristan feels. I'm a cheat.
I will break her down and then
and
protect
then I'm gonna
her.
exactly.
And you know what? I'm so protective of her that
I only protect her with
that
other
I
niggas.
break
this shit.
our vows. That's how protective I am.
Okay, here we go. June 21st, 2021. So this is like 2-3 weeks ago. Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson have called it quits. Multiple sources tell ET that the reality star and the professional basketball player recently decided to go their separate ways. They share one child together, 3-year-old daughter, blah, 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 blah.
I just don't understand
Free
how
game.
somebody who's known for cleaning the glass is so messy. You know what I'm saying? Like your whole, he's always rebounded on and off the court. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing about Tristan Thompson.
Wait, time out, man. If she lets him rebound, who are we?
Look,
who
no
am I?
judgment. Hey, no
Who am
judgment. Whatever people work through in their relationships,
Who am I?
you know what I'm saying? I mean,
The
that's
only
between-
difference between him and 82% of these niggas outside is that
I
they're
thought
fucking
Lamar's
public and
comments
they're
were
popular.
funny as shit because it's like, what can Tristan really say? Like, you gonna get on here and cape and act like, bro, you the same dude I was. when we was in a
what?
relationship. We was both
Hey,
hella faulty.
There was a line that I heard that said, he always looked at me and called me a dirtbag till he realized he was the same thing. You know what I mean? It's the same shit. Tristan
Right.
and Lamar are the same
It's
person.
like that Spider-Man meme. Where they,
Yeah, where they both point at each other.
Oh yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So I mean, it's hilarious.
I thought Tristan was out of
But
pocket.
it's fair game.
Tristan was out of pocket. He went way over
Let
the
him
top.
threaten that
like
nigga's life if he wants, bro.
You talked about him almost losing his life.
He's ready to kill for his, bro. Regardless.
Tristan Thompson is not a
He's
goon.
ready to kill for his.
He's
bro.
not a goon.
I give Lamar.
Every woman
What
wants
does
a
that
nigga
mean?
who will
I
kill
got
for her.
Lamar in that fist fight.
I got Lamar in the fist fight too.
Nah, not after seeing that boxing match he had with who was that? Nick Carter or whoever it was.
That wasn't a shining moment.
Lamar didn't look good.
He didn't.
he didn't look good.
But I think Tristan
He won.
hurt.
He won though. Lamar knocked the nigga out though.
Yeah, it didn't look good though.
Yeah, but he's better than Tristan Thompson. I've seen Tristan Thompson get into it with people.
Tristan
and I'm like,
Thompson. Tristan Thompson looked bad in a shoving match.
He does.
He's talking
does.
about a fight,
It's-
nigga. That nigga don't fight,
I don't
bro.
know.
These niggas. You want to talk about niggas who had privilege and never had to fight for shit?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm not.
be a 6'9" nigga with NBA aspirations, nigga. You don't
Right.
have to fight for
I don't
shit.
think
Didn't he go
either
to
one of them
TCU?
can fight.
Yeah,
Is he a
nigga,
horn frog?
He's a fucking. He went to a Christian school, bro.
He's a horn frog.
He went to
right?
prayer. He went to prayer.
Didn't he go to Texas Christian
Yeah,
University?
he did. He
I
went
thought
to.
he's from Canada.
Yeah, but I think
But
he
he
went
still
to
went to
Texas Christian
TCU.
University.
I don't know.
He went to prayer for fights.
I don't
bro.
follow.
He
I
never
don't
fought.
follow that.
He
Anyway,
went to chapel.
all right. So we all agree that Tristan was out of pocket.
I say he has the right to say whatever he wants.
He does, but he's still out of pocket.
Yeah, whatever.
The
Tomato,
only reason why she's available is because what you did, nigga.
But she wants to be back with him.
Obviously not.
Well, she just said on Wendy Williams. They said on Wendy Williams that she said she's going to be faithful until they figure out what they want to do.
When was that?
That's
was
like
that
2
after
days
June
ago.
21st?
Like 2 days ago.
Okay, well, nigga, while you working it out, figuring it out.
Fair game, fam.
That's what I just said.
No, but he's not out of pocket, but it's
No.
still fair game.
No, nigga, no.
Bro, if I cheat,
And look,
if
hold
I
on,
cheat,
hold
if
on, hold
somebody
on.
flirt with my
No,
chick that
but I
I
gotta
cheated
say
on,
this,
I'm
though.
still giving them
I gotta
smoke.
say this though. We gotta stop normalizing making threats online if you're not gonna follow through with it. Come on, man.
I agree. There has to be a fight now.
There has to be a follow through.
There has to be a fight
Call
now.
Triller.
Especially that kind of stuff.
Call Triller. Put on the boxing gloves. Whoever wins gets. They get Chloe.
If Chloe
Hey,
chooses,
Triller just gonna put
to
all types of versus shit together.
For sure.
All types of
I
one-on-ones.
do get upset
Triller catch these hands.
because I'm watching YB and Almighty and all these Neymar and all these niggas who are not gangster talking about crip and blood and nobody's fighting.
I don't want to see that because that can result in some real.
Nah, nigga,
I just
what
don't
you do is you
I
put
don't-
the gloves on like back in the day.
I
Remember,
don't
you used to put on the
understand why
gloves.
people are so enamored with Khloe Kardashian.
Me either.
I don't.
Nobody does. It's the name.
It's the witch's brew.
It's the name and what comes with it.
With the everybody being in your business, so when you cheat, so everybody can look down on you.
The
That's
fame,
cool.
The business, the money.
Kanye was like, "I've had enough."
Only reason why we know who Tristan Thompson is, other than playing for the Cavaliers, is because he's.
Well, it's because
You don't even play for the Cavaliers
because
no more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
oh no, that wasn't Tristan Thompson when Kanye was like, "Well, I'll tell Jay dropping from the team." Who was that? Who was that? That ball player that's trying to talk to Kim.
Humphreys.
Yeah, Jeff Humphreys.
Yeah.
Chris Humphries.
Oh, Chris
Chris.
Humphreys. He said I have Jay dropping from the team.
Wow.
All right, Photo B, we about to kick it over to you, man.
All right. So there was a meme, not really a meme, but it was a text thread between a man and his woman,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes as such. He says, "Hey, babe, guess what?" She's like, "What, babe?" "I got the job, $70K a year." "That's amazing, babe. Couldn't have come at a better time. Now I can step down from our position and focus on my mental health." She like, "Huh?"
That's exactly what she said.
She's like, I don't understand what you mean, huh? So he's like, "Babe, I'm not happy at this job. The money is great, but I've been working too hard for 40 years. Too hard for 4 years. I stayed so you can finish your degree. I just want a less stressful job. I'm depressed here." She like, "Depressed? How when you make 6 figures and we have everything you need? You telling me about the depression now? So you're going to be unemployed while I pay the bills?" He's like, "Yo, look, I paid all the bills for 2.5 years."
I'll be her. You go ahead.
Oh, you got it. All right, we'll. It's easy to,
Hold on. We gotta get some air horns on here. We gotta get some air horns on.
Look,
You got to do it in the voice too.
Take it from the top.
Let's go for the top. Let's start over. Let's start
Take it from
over.
the top. All right, you start it off.
Okay. Hey, babe, guess what?
What, babe?
I got the job, $70K a year.
Yo, that's amazing, babe. Couldn't have come at a better time. Now I can step down from my position and focus on my mental health.
Huh?
But, babe, I'm not happy at this job. The money is great, but I've been working too hard for 4 years straight. I stayed so you can finish your degree. I just want a less stressful job. I'm depressed here.
Depressed? How? When you make 6 figures and we have everything we need? You telling me about depression now? So you gonna be unemployed while I'll pay the bills?
What more do you want from me?
Brittany, I paid all our bills for 2.5 years. I'm asking you to hold us down until I see this therapist and get my mental right. I already have a few opportunities lined up. I just need a month.
Wow.
Byron.
That isn't
Byron.
That isn't fair. I have to support you because you're depressed over a good career? You can't see your therapist and work as well?
No, I want to focus on my mental health the entire month. I'm asking you to have my back like I had yours. What's the problem?
I don't want to do that. Yes, you did choose to allow me to focus on school, but that was your job.
Oh.
You provide for me and not the other way around. You can see a therapist and work. You sounded lazy at this point.
Oh.
Really,
Lazy?
nigga?
Did I call you lazy when you were in school full time for 2.5 years? Listen, I said what I'm going to do. You with me or not? So, we done? Are you serious?
I'm dead ass serious. I cannot support a man, not even for a month. I wish you would have told me about this depression and I would have left a long time ago. I don't have time to deal with that. You hid this from me and that isn't fair. I hope you're able to get help. I didn't sign up for this.
Okay. At least I know you're not wife material. Look, I've been seeing a therapist for my depression, and I'm not quitting my job. I want to see if you truly have my back before I proposed. Get your shit, leave my house. You have your job. Now you can pay all your bills, all your own bills. We done here.
I knew you was playing. You know I'm joking, babe.
Stop the cap. Lies. You was serious.
Bruh.
I'm good. Just get your shit and leave my house. Stop calling me. I don't have nothing else to say to you. Bye, Felicia. Wow.
Yeah, fun with that.
Responses? I know Raj want to go. Go ahead.
Oh,
He
God.
chomping at the bit.
Cause you know how it is. This is not an ordinary. The only real issue I have is the mental health.
There's a lot of issues.
No, I mean,
But I got what you're saying.
yeah,
that's
but
the main issue. I got you.
the issue I'm having is when we just sat up here a couple months ago and we talked about how okay it was for women to not have sex with their men because they were going through mental issues, right? And we should provide some grace and we should be supportive and go to therapy and we should do this, that, and the third while I beat my meat in the closet. right. And while I beat my meat in the closet watching some stranger because you're too depressed to have sex with me or even for a quickie, but you're not too depressed to go to work or go to school or pay these bills and make sure the mortgage is paid or pay your cell phone or get your hair or your nails done. You're not too depressed for any of that. But sex, I'm supposed to understand. Anyhow, that was the conversation. We were supposed to have a measure of grace for that. So now if I ask you for a month off because I'm having depression issues and mental situations and I need to go see a therapist, it's a no-go. And I don't think that it's just for this conversation. I think that as men, we are relied upon to be superheroes at all times. We're supposed to be the protector, the understanding guy, the moderator. We're supposed to be invincible once we get into a relationship. So I just feel like I would like to see, and I haven't seen, to be honest, in my experience, when I get upset about something, I've been called emotional or sensitive. I even dated a chick where she was like, yo, you just gonna keep acting like a bitch? You know what I mean? You need to get your shit together. I was younger, but I probably would choke her nowadays, but...
He said that was the old me.
That's the old me, bro.
Old me would have...
But, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, like when it comes to like mental health and those things, because I do expect if you are planning on marrying somebody, that's part of the package, right? Just like not getting any ass for 2 weeks because you're depressed or a month or a year or however long you take to decide you're ready to put out again.
I hate that I think of things so analytically because I see so many issues
with this conversation
here.
Yeah, but I just really wanted to focus on the mental health thing because
I got you.
Our mental health is so disregarded. It is very.
But he
very
also
disregarded.
swept it under the rug. Why hadn't he brought up that?
Well, he
was
said,
dealing with
but he
depression
said
the
he
whole
was going through. He said he was going to therapy, and he just didn't.
time. Yeah, but obviously she didn't know that.
Well,
and she didn't even know that he was depressed. Why?
Because obviously,
why are they together?
Obviously, he didn't feel safe in that environment.
But that's again part of my point, though.
Well,
is that,
honestly, ultimately, I feel like the text wasn't really a real text because who
Yeah.
has that kind of text conversation? But it's a real type of situation,
Right.
No, that's what I see a lot of times with these viral ass text messages. And like a lot of these text
This
messages are
ain't
some
no
real
real
serious
conversation.
shit,
Yeah, I think
and you're not going to really have it on a actual full on just a text
Yeah.
conversation unless that's just like their normal situation.
right.
But
I just saw that same shit with my boy Steve, where oh damn, I didn't mean to say his name.
too late. So your boy Steve, right?
Yeah, where he just put his chick through college, his wife through college and stuff, and then all of a sudden she didn't want to have sex with him and yada yada, and then they ended up getting divorced and moving out. He started sleeping with other people because she wouldn't sleep with him. You know what I mean? And then I watched the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? I seen it.
You got to know what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And you can't have it both ways. You can't get all tickled and excited and because you're providing for a woman and that makes you feel good. And then when she's done getting what she wanted out of you, then she leaves, then you can't feel sad because she left.
Right.
Some people are only tied to you because of what you are providing.
Bingo.
And if you are getting married based on those parameters, if you are getting married based off of a contract, once the contract is fulfilled, then you have the chance of the person wanting to start another contract or leaving with somebody else. So you have to make sure that when you are getting married in a long, or even if you're in a long-term relationship, or if you do want to have a contract, something, that's fine. Just know the terms, know what you're getting into, because a lot of people, and it could, because it's not just women, men do it too, get with somebody based off of what they can get out of them, and then once they get what they got, then they're gone.
I'm gonna tell you what, bro. Like when you think on those shallow terms, it's always a dead end at the end of the.
It is,
because if anything like this, if something happens drastic, and this isn't a big deal to ask for a month off that you put somebody through college.
Right, a month.
Yeah, to me that's not a big deal at all. I feel like you want to take a month off to get your mind right while I go work and pay for the bills with the money that we already have saved.
Like you ain't got the job.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, it just speaks to the level of investment in the relationship, because if you're looking for long-term sustainability in a relationship, this would be a red flag for her to like, I need to stop whatever I'm doing and support him mentally through this journey of mental health, because his sustainabiliity and his vitality long term
is vital to her sustainability and her vitality.
So like this is we're one. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So if this is impacting you, this is impacting me.
It's impacting us.
To go back to the selfish conversation,
I was about to say, we were just talking about that earlier.
Circling back to selfish is that I'm looking out for me, and you're supposed to be looking out for me, but I am not supposed to be looking out for you. And
it's capitalism all over again.
And so you have some of that that's rooted in, you know, depending on people's backgrounds, gender roles, that they feel that this is the way things are supposed to be. That I would never take care of a dude, that I would, as opposed to we're one and we're a family, and whoever's in the family takes care of family. If that means that I hit a hard spot and you're taking care of family at that point, maybe the ratio will be 70% that I'm taking care of family. But there are times that I'm not going to be at my best, where I'm going to need you to step up more than normal, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? When if you have a kid or you have a surgery or something happens with you, I'm going to need to now take care of you and this home and these other things, and be sensitive to the issues that you're dealing with as a result of that. And if I'm telling you and being vulnerable enough to say, I'm not okay, and your response is, work through that shit. Right. Suck it up.
You know how many times you hear that though? But you asked the question. You asked the question. Why wouldn't he say anything about his depression or whatever? I feel like if I was going through depression and then my old lady was at the end of graduating, and
I wouldn't win a trouble.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't tell her that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I would hold that to myself.
That's true.
Because I wouldn't want her to have the pressure of
dealing with that too.
Of dealing with my depression. You know what I'm saying? So that makes sense.
I don't want to burden anybody else.
Exactly.
Well,
because
I'll figure it out.
Because I've seen this so many times in the trades, bro, where I've seen it.
You're the sweetest asshole I've ever
Who,
met,
me?
Man.
No, everybody says that. I am.
It's like an oxymoron.
I'm a petty
asshole. You're the most
that sounds like
considerate, inconsiderate
but
fuck I've ever met.
But I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't put that on her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like
because you need to be your peace,
right? But not just because I need to be her peace, but because I might need that peace in the future. So I want to deposit something that I might need to withdraw later.
Right?
You know what I mean? Where in my life, I'll use myself. The practicality. My life is developed to where, like we were talking about off air, and yours is as well. You own your home. All your affairs are taken care of. Your life is good. You cook, you clean, you manage, you do everything well as an individual. Your life is perfect for someone that fits your life to move right the fuck on in, and then it continues to flow because you've already developed it that way. That's what his life is in this scenario, right? And when he needs help, right, he's considering, I've already put the pieces of the puzzle together. You're the final piece to this puzzle, right? If I need help, are you willing to have the same grace for me that I've had for you the whole time? You know what I mean?
And to me, it's like you haven't even delved into or read between the lines. Like, if someone is saying, I am willing to quit a 6-figure job
Because
to
I'm
take
unhappy.
time for myself. Do you know how significant that is? You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to stop my cash flow, everything, and it's hard as a man to admit I just need to unplug. You know what I'm saying? The fact that something so significant is met with resistance and met with just a callous approach, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that if that's a real life scenario, man, that would have had to have been heartbreaking.
Definitely.
Well, I don't even know if it's heartbreaking. It sounds like he already knew that that's what she was going to say.
Yeah, I dated somebody who I was with somebody who was emotionally unavailable. Where like they played all the right cards at one point, and it's almost like they followed a handbook.
No,
like,
but
damn, you're hella dope.
Hey, listen,
And then, but then when
yeah.
you get in these situations to figure out, is this sustainable or is this a show?
Hey, you know,
it's like
you know what you really get to see, like in relationships. The last ones that I had that we've all experienced together, where I'm in the gym, so now they're in the gym, or I'm fasting and praying, so they're fasting and praying, or you know, the things that are important to me, they participate in.
A chameleon.
Exactly.
they're right.
Exactly. And
They're
we talked
chameleon.
about this a lot, right? It wasn't already necessarily a part of your life. And I appreciate them coming on board, right? But I'm not doing this for a relationship. I'm doing this for self-sustainability.
Right.
Right. So if it's not already a part of who you are,
You don't have
your
to-
package, your anchorage, just keep being you. We've already
See, but I think when
Why'd
you're
you start
younger-
wearing Jordans?
I think when you're younger, those things intrigue you. Like, oh, like they're interested in my interests. Like they want to be
Right.
where I am and they want to be with me and they're willing to do things that maybe they're not normally doing. I think when I started getting older, I was like, that's backwards. You should be looking for people who share the same common interests
Already,
or things or
before
values
you
with
meet.
you. So
Yeah,
that way
before
it's
you
not
do
like I'm changing for you. It's we align.
bingo.
And because really what changing looks like is you're putting on a mask for a certain amount of time. But at some point in time, that mask may come back off because it's like, you know, this shoe doesn't really fit. Like I'm doing it for you.
Yeah.
But now, again, after that,
It can form into resentment too.
after that honeymoon phase,
for sure.
after that honeymoon
sure.
phase kind of starts to die down, then it's like, oh, then the selfishness kind of starts to creep
Well,
back in because I played my part for long enough to get in. And now that I'm in, I can take my shoes off, and,
And
now
then
I'm
you
good.
start to hear things like, "Well, I was doing this for you in the first place.
I did
did
this somebody who relapsed as an alcoholic.
I
and it was like,
sacrificed
I
this
stopped
for
drinking
you.
for you. Like,
For you. Well, you
don't do that for me.
Right. You gotta do that
that's
for
something that
you.
you need to do for you.
You know what I mean? So I mean, like we've all sat in that seat before, where you've seen. I just think like for this scenario, I think it's a good example of, like you said, not vetting enough, not knowing your
You
personnel.
have to.
You know
I
what I mean?
I can't stress that
Yeah.
enough. And
Yeah.
we live in a society where it's instant gratification, and we want
Yeah.
everything quick. Anything worth having, you got to take.
Bro,
your
I'm gonna
time.
tell you what, man.
You
Like
gotta
I
take
your time.
mean,
You gotta vet in the
like when
name of
people
love.
talk to when
That's the
people
thing.
like try to talk to
Vet
me
in the
even
name
for
of
like
love.
a couple days, man, they want to talk about marriage in like a week.
Well,
And I'm like,
you can have a vision, but
Yeah.
you still need to have a process, though. And
Yeah,
I think
I don't
because I
wanna
think
hear about
I
it.
think there's two extremes. I think there's an extreme where you take hella time and there's no direction, and then it's like, well, what are we doing? Oh, well, we're just building, and it's like, okay, I need to kind of know what we're building.
Doing what?
You know what I mean? But then there's the other extreme of, like you said, oh, so you know, if we're not married in 6 months, then I'm out. It's like, what? I need more time to
Bro,
figure out whether I want to marry you.
It
You know what I mean?
kills me when I see that shit online. A man, when women post, a man knows if he wants to marry you
In the
or
first
not,
6
you know,
months
you know,
or
what
the
I'm saying? Like,
hell?
come on,
Yeah.
bro.
I think there's a combination of both. I think you should have,
Unrealistic.
again, when you say, like you say,
Oh, the first couple days, they know if
well, I mean, you
He knows
you,
in the first
you-
3 weeks.
you say you obviously
Right.
want to be aligned, right? So if I'm dating somebody, is marriage a goal for you? Yes. Okay, I want to be married as well. Okay, now we
That's-
align, and then it's okay. What does that marriage look like? Themes, values,
but
things
you're
like that.
see, but again, you're logistically, logically laying this stuff.
Well, no,
out.
that's not even. I think that's emotional too.
No, but you already have a plan. See, most people when I read a man wants to know if he's going to marry you in the first 6 weeks or the first 2 months or 3 months or the first 6 months, I really don't even know you in that time
I don't
frame.
have enough information.
Well,
So I know what
depends.
I know it doesn't depend. It
It
doesn't
does.
depend because
It
you have to
does.
see because you have to see people
No,
in different.
I don't believe that.
In different assets of the different positions in life.
I don't believe that.
Would you think that a nigga knows?
I think you can date somebody for 5 years and not know 'em.
I agree with that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you know them.
Right. So what I'm saying is that for you to say that you can't know somebody 6 months, you can spend every day with somebody for 6 months and get a pretty damn good idea of who they are.
I think what he's saying is that a lot of things that you ascertain and learn about an individual are based on shared experiences.
Facts.
And in
I got that.
6 weeks, you may not have enough experiences where you've seen how this
Nigga, they're
person
still
reacts
trying to
in certain
camouflage
situations.
I get that. But what I'm also saying is in 5 years, you may not still get those same experiences.
I agree.
Like there's some people
No,
say
I'll see you
there's
in
some
that.
people who will say you don't get to know nobody until you actually live with them, and some people say, well, because of my belief system,
We
I'm
didn't
not
live
going to
together.
shack with
Right,
you, and I'm not
yeah.
going to live with you.
All
So you're still taking a step of faith by saying,
But-
well,
Right.
hey,
when we get in
but
the same
when we-
place together,
Yeah.
But listen though, to have a drawn out, like you said, to say if you're not married to me in 6 months, I'm out. That's stupid as fuck to me. To say that I'm supposed to know if I'm going to marry you in 6
don't
months or
try to
not.
put a
No,
timetable.
no, I agree
Don't
with
try
that.
to put a
You know what I'm
timetable.
saying?
I
That's
agree with
dumb.
that. I agree with that.
Especially if you're coming, like I said, I'm going to use myself and I'm
Oh,
gonna
if we ain't this in a year, then I'm out. Like,
I'm
okay.
gonna use, but I'm also gonna use myself and I'm gonna use him as a example again because we're well established, right? There's more caution to this thing than what most people will take. I don't need somebody to come in and elevate my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not looking for I'm not in a position to where I need somebody to come in and pay half of anything.
No, I
You know what I'm
agree.
saying?
No, that I agree with. But what I'm saying is the other extreme to that is if you've been dating somebody for a year
Yeah.
and she asks, "Hey, where do you see this going?" and it's
You should be
And
able
it's
to answer the question.
that's all they're saying.
Yeah, you should be
That
able to
within
answer.
a year, you should kind of have an idea of where this may or may not be going. And
A
if
year,
it's
a year makes sense to me. You know what I'm saying? A year makes
well,
sense.
I mean,
to me.
even 6 months, we were talking about foreshadowing and foresight.
Right.
In 6 months, you
I
should
feel
be able to say,
but this is how I feel. I feel like at our age, if you're dating without the intent of actually seeing if this can be marriage, you're stupid. you're dumbass, right? So that's not even a real question that you
Unless
need
you're
to
just
ask.
spinning your wheels.
well, everybody,
you know what I'm saying? Like
we had an episode saying
you
that you
have
should
to
be
have
dating.
you have to have that conversation up front. Do you want to get married eventually? Yeah.
Right, but you also have to. But it may not be with you.
That's true. And
Because
in
at
6
6 months-
months,
at
and in
6
6
months,
months,
you can
I may
say-
not know if I'm sure if you're the one or not.
You have an idea.
Nah.
You've seen enough that you can say,
Yeah.
you know, these are the things that I like. These are the things that I've seen that maybe I don't like, and can say, hey, you know what?
No,
our
maybe you
communication-
have an idea. Maybe I don't have an idea in 6 months.
But you can't. So the same argument that you just said is how can you know in 6 months? But you're saying that. But I'm already perceiving that I'm not going to know in 6 months.
I'm not saying that you don't know in 6 months. I'm saying
You
when they
just- you
no
just
when they
said
say
that.
I'm saying when they generalize that men know in 6 months.
I got that.
No,
but what
I'm
I'm
like-
saying is you said you may know, but I'm not going to know.
No, I said no. I said
That's
I
what
may.
I'm
No. I said I may not. I may not know in 6 months, but you may know in 6 months.
Right.
It's it's
So we're not-
case
we're
by
not-
Right.
case.
It's a case by
It's
case. That's
case
what I'm
by
saying.
case.
But what
Yeah.
I'm saying is you have an idea. I'm not saying you will know. I'm not saying 6 months I will make a decision. I'm saying you have an idea because if you are continually dating that person,
This is why girls. This is why
No,
girls
no.
have it confused because guys like you will say
no.
That, yes.
So if you're still dating somebody after 6 months, then that means you see a future with that person. Yes or no?
No.
no,
I mean, you're comfortable.
exactly.
But okay,
Exactly.
hold on. If you're
you can't.
if you're comfortable,
That doesn't
Hold on,
equate to
hold on.
marriage, fam.
I didn't say marriage. I
Okay.
said you're continually dating them. If you're continually
But
dating
if
that
somebody
person,
says that
so-
you're supposed
hold
to
on,
know,
hold on,
okay,
hold on,
go
let
ahead.
me finish. If you are
You got-
continually
you
dating
shout
somebody
out.
because you're comfortable, and if your goal is marriage,
Mhm.
then that means if you don't see that you're going to be married to that person, logically you would say, I don't see this going to marriage. I'm going to date somebody else. Yes or no?
Yeah, but they're like, I don't want to start over. It's like this is already like.
But if the
comfortable.
goal is marriage,
right,
you're not going to reach your goal, right?
possibly.
So then you're wasting your
He said
time.
possibly.
Maybe
Well, no, if it's no, possible,
5
no,
years later.
huh?
It
5
could
years
be.
later.
Maybe
But you
things
just said-
change.
no,
You
hold
said
on.
who knows in 5 years, right? You may not know. You may know in 5 years. Who knows?
If you have an idea, though, you just said you already have an idea that you're not going to get married to that person.
So to me, there's
That's
just so
not
many.
true. That's
to
not
me,
what
there's
we're
just
saying.
so
We're
many
just saying
factors.
that there's so many
Because,
exactly, bro. So
like,
many
for
experiences,
example,
so many
let's
things
say
that
we
you gotta
dated
go
That's
for
through.
why.
6
That's why. That's why the
So-
post is so
It's
so
stupid.
toxic. It's
Yeah,
so
it's
Yeah,
stupid
because
stupid
let's say
as
we
hell.
dated for 6
Stop
months, right?
generalizing.
I have kids, you have
You know.
kids. We decided in these first several months we're not introducing kids till we
Mhm.
know each other better. So for these first 3 months, let's say
It's just us.
it's just getting to know each other, and it's when you don't have your kids, when I don't have my kids, so we're not seeing each other
facts.
all the time.
Correct.
The level of frequency.
Okay.
So we're seeing each other on the weekend.
Good.
Or
Okay.
every other week or
Okay.
whatever. So the frequency in which we're spending time
eye contact.
We're still
because I see where this is going, and you're about to make my point. But go ahead.
no. But let's say.
bouncing
But
in
now
my
what I'm
seat.
saying is like, so let's say 6 months in. Now I'm like, damn, I can actually see this.
That's what
And now we meet each other's kids.
And now the kids are a nightmare.
My kids don't like you.
Okay.
I like you.
At that point.
Now there's another layer.
Okay, so hold on.
Of trying to get the kids on the same page.
Or if my kids don't fuck with you, I don't fuck with you.
So you have an idea on where the relationship may go. That's what I just
That has
said.
nothing to do with
And
knowing
what
if I
said-
want to marry you. The
Yeah,
post
I
always
did-
says 6 months a man knows if he wants to marry you or not. That's not the
said,
same thing.
I said I may not make a clear-cut decision, but I may know I have an idea.
We understand
on
what
where it's
you're
going.
saying, but the post is not saying that.
Wait. The post is not saying that. It is,
not.
but it's not.
No, it's not.
Wait, listen.
Say what the post says.
The post says a
It's-
man knows
If he wants to marry
if he
you or
wants
not
to
in
marry
6
not in
months.
6 months.
That's
but
what it
it's
says.
not. But it's like it does or it doesn't. Like I know that I have an idea. I know that there's
But
a
that's not what
possibility.
the post
I know.
says.
I know.
if
I
do,
didn't say
don't.
that. I said
Right,
I agree
that's-
with you.
right,
I'm
right.
saying
The
there's
post
a
doesn't say that.
I'm
but that's
saying
how
that
it
there's a
is.
middle ground. I'm saying that you have
I
an
agree
idea.
with the
You
middle
have an
ground, but
idea.
women don't agree with the middle ground, bro. The reason why women post that shit is because they believe that shit.
No, women post that shit because
No.
they're trying to waste.
Women,
They're trying to get
women
men-
post that shit because they believe that they're with a nigga who knows if they want to marry her in 6 months. That's why she posts that
I think
shit.
if you would ask women, I think majority of them, there are some that I agree that do post that.
Bro,
with that
every
idea.
time
Hold on,
you
hold
see those
on,
posts,
hold
it'll be a
on,
bunch of yes,
hold on,
sis,
hold on.
yes, sis
I
underneath.
think
Why?
that you would- I think that if you were to ask the majority of women, they would say that they just need to know the direction on where their relationship is going. That's it.
Yeah,
But
I just want to know. I'm not
If you
want to
be a lead, the head of the household, you got to give direction. If the direction is that we building, I don't know yet. We'll see. That's not direction.
I'm gonna tell you what. That's probably one of the most annoying things you can do to a man is keep doing that.
If
Where
you're
are we
not
going?
giving,
Where are we
right?
going?
Well,
Where are we
no,
going?
I agree.
Where are we going?
But
Where
if
are we
you're not
going?
giving
Where are we
direction, then
going?
what do you expect them to ask?
I don't expect them to write stupid shit like niggas know.
So
Right.
I don't think
It depends on the
I
situation.
honestly don't think at that point a man is supposed to direct a woman to where the nature of the relationship is going. This is two people working collaboratively towards a goal or not. This shouldn't be my decision or your decision. So if I say I want to marry you, like, okay, go. Like, no. Like, there may be still grounds and things that you need to cover.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And criteria that you have. Like,
But, yeah.
maybe we haven't got super deep. Like, so guess what? We've been dating. We like each other.
Mhm.
I haven't talked about your credit score. I haven't talked about what your debt is like. I haven't
Totally agree.
now, if you want to start talking about what the criteria would be to share life together,
Then there's
now
there's a lot of
different
narrative.
discussions and stuff.
There's
Okay, all the superficial or all the cool shit
Totally
and the feeling
Bro,
agree.
shit.
agree.
you know what's
Yeah,
even
totally
crazier
agree,
is
but-
that is not just meeting the kids, but actually meeting the family,
Man,
Right.
meeting the whole family. And sometimes that doesn't happen for 5 or 6 months, bro. Like I don't be in a rush to meet nobody's family because I don't want any influence.
Totally agree.
On the, you know what I'm saying?
I totally agree with that.
So,
But different people move at different paces. You
Uh,
may not meet the family.
understood.
year
the
later.
the post is still trash. Is my point. The post.
I think we all agree with that.
Nobody disagreed with that point.
But I've seen it in the reverb several times. You know what I'm saying? So obviously somebody agrees with it. You know what I mean? But so that's why we're having the conversation, because if you're not reposting it, if you don't feel like it's real,
Right, but what I'm saying is though but you can't also ignore the other part of that conversation is if there's not a lead or again, and when I'm saying lead, there's a lot of men that say I'm an alpha male, but then when it comes to being an alpha male, it's no alpha maleness. It's
Mhm.
just
what are we talking?
chance.
What part are we talking about in the alpha maleness? Are we just talking about relationships? Like the
The
decisions
conversation
that
we've
make-
been having for the last 15 minutes.
The whole meeting.
No, I just want to know, man, because some people don't even know what an alpha male is in real life.
Most alpha male feels like that they have to lead. So in order for you to lead, you got to give direction. If you want your woman to follow you or to be in line or be submissive or however you want to
She
play.
has no choice. There is no choice in the matter because I'm gonna make decisions that are good. But that's
but that's giving direction.
yeah. I'm
That's all I'm saying. I'm saying is in those conversations, from what I'm hearing from women, is that they just want to know where is it headed.
Then
Because
you know what they should
have
ask?
an idea.
You know what they should ask? Where is it heading on the post? The post should read. Most men have an
We've
idea
all
of
agreed
where it's
that
heading.
post is trash. I'm saying the other coin to that is that conversation.
No, I understood, but I really wanted to argue the fact of how stupid that was.
Yeah, but nobody was arguing it.
I know, but it was fun.
Oh my gosh.
How long has it been? 3 hours?
Almost.
God
Yeah,
damn.
man.
I'm
Yeah.
been mixing forever.
You are.
Oh,
There's
my day.
you still got trash, sir.
Oh, yeah. Cue up the clip.
You want to play it now? You just said you're gonna be mixing forever.
It's okay, bro. It's at the end. I can find it really easily.
All right.
So my trash as fuck goes to the dispatch worker that was receiving information from Ashley Sherman, right? Richard Sherman's wife or ex-wife,
yeah, Ashley. Yep.
or whatever. We're gonna roll the clip and then we'll have a conversation about it. Roll that beautiful bean footage. You looking at porn?
Playing?
That's crazy. Yo, is that a mirrored?
I need officers to my house now. My husband is drunk and threatening to kill himself.
Stop. What's the address? Are there
He
any
is-
weapons? Stop.
We
Are there
took
listen to
no.
me.
There's no gun. I'm saying there are no weapons, ma'am. There are
You
no
just let me finish.
weapons.
You need to stop interrupting me so I can get the information I need to get officers expedited.
I need officers here now.
What's he doing that you think he's going to harm himself?
He's being aggressive. He has sent text message. I took the keys out. They're in your car. He's trying to leave now in the house. He's being aggressive. He's wrestling with my uncle. He's threatening to kill himself. He has sent text message to people saying he's going to hang himself. He's saying that if the police show up, so please don't shoot is what I'm asking.
Okay, wait. Say that again.
He has no
He
weapon.
says if the police show up,
he
what?
said please show up, that he'll try to fight them. So they need
Okay.
to understand that he is.
Okay. Listen, just what's your phone number there? Okay, and has it been physical with anybody there? You said he's trying to fight your uncle?
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
How has it been physical?
He just tried to fight him.
Okay, trying to fight somebody and actually being
Yes,
physical
he
is
did.
two
He
different
did, all
things.
the way
How
down to
has
the
it
ground.
been physical?
He's pulling out now. He's trying to leave. He's fucking
Okay, what
leaving in
kind
the
of car?
Maybach.
What kind of
It's
car
a,
is he
it's a
driving?
2016 black Mercedes BBB3425. Richard, please stop.
Boy. Hello.
BBB3425. Richard,
Should've blocked
please
that out.
stop.
Actually,
All right, I think we get that.
Yeah.
I think we get the gist.
yeah. What do you think?
I think that she did not do a good job. Like, you know how like they consider like bedside manner, right? Like you recognize, because I've heard people do it wonderfully. I watched the first 48. It's guilty pleasure. So I listened to a lot of these
Shameless
911.
plug.
It is, no, I'm not plugging it. I've heard a lot of these 911 dispatch calls, and usually I'm hearing the good ones are looking to de-escalate the person.
Yep.
Really listen to what they have to say. Okay, sweetheart, I hear what you're saying. There's some information I'm going to need to be able to get the people out there so we can help your husband. So I'm going to need you to listen to what I'm saying, or this and this and this. The way that she was cutting her off, making it about herself. Don't talk to me like this. I'm going to need you not to cuss. Like, my husband's talking about committing suicide. You're telling me about my fucking language? Like,
Facts.
there was just so much completely inconsiderate.
I think details. This is like for me, bro. I think that in a situation like this, I think the human aspect of what she does, I think she's so desensitized by all of the events that go on. I think that it really made her robotic, and she like the care wasn't there, the emphasis wasn't there, right? And I can hear the reason why I'm giving her trash as fuck is because I feel like that there was she was very, very casual about a life situation, about a life-threatening situation. She was too casual. She was too comfortable.
It was different than
You know
like
what I mean?
professional
It wasn't,
detachment.
yeah, it was right. You do have professional detachment as a dispatcher because you get to hear a lot of crazy things, and I'm pretty sure, like, I don't know what she's heard in the background or whatever, but there was no sense of urgency for her. You know what I'm saying? So it was super condescending.
Until you talk to me the way I want you to
super
talk to
condescending.
me,
And then when you say shit like, when you're like, well, is there domestic violence? And then and she's like, well, he was wrestling with my uncle. And she goes, well, was there domestic violence or was there not? There's a difference between like how do you have time to say that shit, bro?
Right.
Do your fucking job.
Right.
The information you were to get is what the fuck is going on, where are you at, and how can we get there as soon as possible. All those, that should have been the first line of questioning. And then everything else could go from there. But I just feel like, I don't know, I see people on Twitter who are also upset about the way that the dialogue went through, but there was just no urgency. To me, I just felt like it was lifeless. Like she didn't care what happened. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Like I gave her trash as fuck because if something was going on in my life, I would want, if anyone called me, right? Like these car accidents I've been telling you guys about. Like I've jumped out of my car and run because I've seen two flip over, right? And I've gone to the car because it's not my life that I'm worried about. It's somebody else's life, and it's just human compassion.
Right.
So I just feel like this particular dispatcher, if you listen to the conversation that goes on further, she gets more and more disgruntled.
Yeah.
And she starts to sound annoyed. And she starts to sound, she's annoyed at the situation.
That's what I
you know
heard.
what I mean? She
sound like she was agitated, like she was bothered that she called 911.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
And then his wife is having to like stop, and you hear her getting like agitated, like, bro, like I'm trying to tell you, like, who did I just call?
Later on in the video, the lady actually said, the wife actually goes, hey, can you just send the police? I need the police now. Are the sheriffs on their way? You're asking me these questions.
They were on the phone for like 30 minutes.
They were. Like, why is it taking?
Well, and obviously some of that, she was on the line to make sure she was, I guess when the
it's like calling Sprint.
but still,
huh? Yeah,
it's like calling Sprint.
Yeah.
There you go. Customer service help.
It sounded like that call.
Why are you generally just have disdain towards me because what happened with your product?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. but I just feel like the fact that the lady had to remind her to dispatch the police. You know what I'm saying? The conversation that's incredible to me, right? Just get the police out here. Somebody's trying to commit suicide. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm having a domestic violence dispute. And again, I'm only giving her trash as fuck because I feel like she's probably been in that line of work for so long that it doesn't matter to her.
Go find another job.
That's how I feel. You're not
because if that was a life or death situation,
which it could have been. He
could have
jumped in
been.
the car
Obviously,
drunk and he drove off.
We're on the other side of it, so we know that she's fine.
Yeah.
But in the event that, what if somebody was shot? What if somebody, was in a car accident where we rolled over or something? Then what would you have had that same attitude?
She probably would have.
Well,
to be honest, because you know what we caught her? We caught her in her work environment of what she does naturally.
Well, luckily the phone calls are recorded. So
trash.
That's
it, man. Today was fucking fire, by the way.
It was good.
Facts.
It was good.
We had a lot of good conversations. We'll see if this one goes up like the Lover Boy
Certified
one.
Lover Boys.
Certified Lover Boys.
Yeah, we gotta figure out a title for this one.
This one, man, we just call this shit Men's Health, like the magazine.
There you go. All right, for those that are listening via audio, for those that are listening via YouTube, we want to appreciate y'all. I didn't say it at the beginning. I don't think I need to. I think if you're on YouTube enough, you know that most people say smash the like button. I hate that. Smash the like button. Hit the bell, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, if you're on audio, follow, like, subscribe. If you're on Apple, please leave a review. We will read that on the air. And big shout out to the Reverb Nation. Big shout out to our Instagram following. And please continually keep supporting us. We appreciate y'all. And for the men, especially since, we've talked about it so much, please do not let anybody down talk, diminish, disregard your mental health.
Facts.
Do whatever you need to do
facts.
to go get the help that you need, because you, like what Photo B said earlier, you bring yourself with you everywhere that you go.
That's facts.
Okay.
The less destructive you are to you, the less destructive you'll be to others.
That's it.
And society. Facts. So we want to thank Sean Dustin, a.k.a. Reflective Intelligence, for coming through again.
Decons.
Hey, appreciate y'all, man. Thank you.
We appreciate it. And we
I'm
look forward
hungry.
hopefully, man, this encourages some men to break out that shell and, go seek some help, man, because it's crazy out there.
For sure.
Man, y'all also be safe, man. Stay the hell at home, bro.
Protect your energy.
Matter of fact, hold on, man. Let me see something quick. And then we can go. I'm going to see if she going to answer.
Who you calling?
You ain't know who I'm calling.
This is some special edition. Ring,
She
ring,
don't answer. She don't
ring.
ever answer my phone.
We get ignored on the pod, so it's all good.
All the time.
Definitely talk to offline.
Facts. We're gonna get Steph trash for never answering our phone calls.
Oh, I thought I had D-Lo's number. I guess I don't. I was gonna just wish. Oh yeah, I do. Here it is. Just tell him just to be safe. He ain't gonna pick up either. He gonna be like, "Why is Rob calling me?"
Who?
D-Lo.
No, he gonna answer. If he asks that, he gonna answer.
Man, did they go to the concert yesterday?
They did.
Oh, man,
It's
they
2
sleep,
o'clock,
bro.
It's 2 o'clock.
They probably drinking.
It's 2 o'clock.
Nah,
They at the
nah.
pool party.
Nah, they ain't got no pool
Hold
party.
on.
Stefdotnet don't wake up till 13 o'clock. She don't got nothing to do, bro.
Nope, she up.
She posting?
Please leave your
What'd I
message
say?
for
Did I not say pool? Did I not
916.
say the
See,
pool?
this is what's wrong with social media,
No,
bro.
it's
It's
all
like
good.
she can't even just
Did I
she
say-
can't even just swerve us because niggas go on her page to
And
go
go
see
look and
what she
see.
doing, man.
It's all good.
It's
Hey,
like, you
so
know,
yeah. So Steph, she'll be back next episode, 2 weeks. We want to just again encourage everybody just to be safe. So all right.
yeah.
Gucci Mane.
Yeah.
Let's go. You just let us go. Let's go. Let's go.